しかし今もきちんとパスを取ることができませんでした。結局この
Go. How effective can he be? He turned 44 just 8 days ago.
And for Warren Moon, it's going to be like riding a bicycle. He's done this so many times, even though it's been 2 years. He had played this season earlier in the season, and he was 3 for 3 with a touchdown. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He feels comfortable in this game plan, and he got his snaps. And he said he needs the reps. He got his reps this week in practice.
Leading active passer in the NFL. 1st and 10 from the 18, and he'll throw it on 1st down. Tony Richardson with a big gainer, releasing out of the backfield and taking it to the sideline. That's a 1st down for Kansas City as he picks up 17. The offensive line for Kansas City so important today because Moon certainly doesn't have the footwork that he once had. Tate, Blackshear, Grunhard, Shields, and Riley across that front line. Backs and receivers, Gunther Cunningham telling us last night, Kimball Anders will get more carries than he has seen in recent games. Morris had a breakout game against the Chargers earlier this year. Alexander having a big season, and of course Tony Gonzalez right now the best tight end in the game. Cunningham's team in dire need of a win. On the handoff, Kimball Anders, and nowhere to go. Al Fontenot, first man there, and it's no gain on 1st down. San Diego defense in the 4-3 set. Mickle, Perella, Williams, and Fontenot. Linebackers, Junior Seau with Orlando Ruff and Gerald Dixon. Frustration has set in with this team, but Seau told us this club will not quit. Secondary, some question marks about Rodney Harrison's health, but he's in there. Harrison has been nursing a hamstring injury. On a 2nd and 10, it'll be a double tight end set. Anders by himself in the backfield. Line of scrimmage just shy of the 35. San Diego will drop back into coverage. Moon able to dump it off. Here's Kimball Anders trying to create after the catch. And he's forced to the sideline as he crosses the 40-yard line. Fakir Brown was the man that forced him down. And it's a pickup of 7. Mike Riley, in his 2nd year as the head coach of this San Diego team, 8-8 last year. This team showed some promise, but last year seems like a distant memory now.
And it does for this team. And I spoke with Mike Riley on the field before the game, and I asked him point blank, how you handle it, coach. He says, just handle it like anything normal. We're taking 1 week at a time. Our guys have not given up, and we've been in a lot of our games.
A 3-receiver set, and Gonzalez sets up as a receiver, and they'll hand it off. It fooled nobody. Tony Richardson is stacked up at the line. San Diego is ready defensively, and the Chiefs go with a conservative call on 3rd down. Gerald Dixon leading the charge.
The San Diego Chargers have been great on run defense the entire year. Here's Gerald Dixon. He will hit the hole with a full head of speed. One-on-one. What happens is San Diego up front, John Perella, Jamal Williams, they do a great job of tying up the interior 3 of the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs, allowing their linebackers to run free.
San Diego's defense has limited opponents to less than 100 yards rushing in 6 consecutive games. That's quite an effort for a team that is 0-11, but teams have been throwing on them and throwing on them effectively. Tots Sauerbrunn able to boot it away. Nate Jacquet waiting. He's got some room from the 11, cutting it back, trying to circle, and he gets to the 20-yard line on a 9-yard return. Lou Bush, the former Charger, making the tackle on special teams, a 48-yard punt. So we'll see San Diego's offense for the first time in a developing story with Ryan Leaf coming off his best game as a pro quarterback. 13 of 27 last week, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Chargers, though, came up short in a heartbreaking 38-37 loss to the Denver Broncos. They blew a 17-point fourth-quarter lead. On 1st down, Terrell Fletcher getting the start at tailback. Play action. Leaf will throw it on 1st down. Forced out of the pocket, running, and slides down after a modest gain of 2. Ryan Leaf will remain this team's starter for the final 5 games, barring any injury. Mike Riley and the rest of the franchise wants to see what he can do now that he's given an opportunity. Offense for the Chargers: Coleman, Roundtree, Fortin, Gogan, and Parker on that offensive line. Backs and receivers, as mentioned, Fletcher gets the nod today over Jermaine Fazan, but Fazan will see action. McCrary, the fullback. Conway and Graham, dangerous wide receivers for Leaf to work with. On the give, Fletcher didn't have much room to work with and picks up another 2 yards. Marvcus Patton in on the stop. The line of scrimmage short of the 25. Kansas City defense, and they have not been themselves of late. They have not forced a turnover in 3 straight games. Uncharacteristic. Clemens, Williams, McLaughlin, Browning getting the start for Hicks, who will see action. Donnie Edwards, a San Diego native, along with Patton, Mike Myslowski, the other linebacker. Hasty, Woods, Wesley, and Warfield in the secondary. Eric Warfield returning to his starting spot, replacing the rookie Pat Dennis. On 3rd and 6, Leaf knocked down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, and San Diego will punt it on their first possession. Dwayne Clemens getting a piece of it.
And for Dwayne Clemens, all he does is take 3 or 4 steps upfield. He avoids the block of Fletcher, puts his hands in the field, and bats the ball down. If a defensive lineman cannot get to the quarterback, they're taught to get those paws up in the air and disrupt the quarterback's vision.
So Darren Bennett will punt it, averaging 47 yards per punt. Kevin Lockett is the return man. Lockett backpedals. What a brute by Bennett. Here's Lockett from the 16. Cutting it to the outside, looking for a lane, and Lockett gets across the 40. Solid return, 24 yards after the 59-yard punt from Bennett, in good field position for Kansas City. Right now, let's head to New York, get an NFL Today update. Jim Nantz. And so damaging in the AFC East, the way things are stacking up in that division. Again, the most competitive division in football.
And it's going to be the final week, the final game to find out who's going to win the AFC week. So competitive, AFC East, so competitive in that division.
Just underway here from San Diego. Iron Eagle Mark May, Kansas City, and the Chargers. Flags down on 1st down, and this play never happens. Warren Moon was dropping back to throw it. It's pretty amazing to see the transformation.
66 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Bernie Kukar informs us that Victor Riley in on the penalty. The transformation of this offense. When you thought of Kansas City football, you thought of run first, pass if you have to.
Not more. Yeah, and it started the first time that they played San Diego. Elvis Grbac came in, threw 5 touchdown passes. They lit up the board in that game. And Sylvester Morris, the rookie, had 3 touchdown receptions in that game. And the rushing has absolutely gone down for this football team, but the passing yardage has climbed up.
Well, they'll face a 1st and 15 now from the 37. Moon looking to throw it. Guns to the flat, brought in by Richardson, and then angles out of bounds as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, or just about. He picks up 4. Gerald Dixon was able to get to the sideline. There is no featured back in this offense, and that's one of the reasons why they haven't been able to develop the running game. Sometimes it's Richardson, sometimes it's Anders. Cloud was given an opportunity. Earlier in the year, the rookie Frank Moreau.
But the only steady in this offensive running game has been Tony Richardson the entire season. He's been there to block, he's been there to receive, he's been there to run the ball. And even though at the running back position they've mixed and matched, he's been the constant steady in the backfield.
Warren Moon still does not have an incomplete pass on the year, and that streak will continue. Derek Alexander takes a hit and holds on to the football. Michael Dumas, the hard-hitting free safety, came in to give him a lick.
Warren Moon's like a fine wine. And I said it was like just riding a bicycle. Well, it is. And you'd think Warren Moon would go deep with the ball. That's what he would like to do. But he's going to take what the defense gives him. He's a smart quarterback. Obviously, he's been around forever. And the key to this, he's getting the defense to respect the short pass and step up. And he's going to take a shot at Rodney Harrison, the strong safety. Has a bad hamstring, only 6 snaps last week.
Also got a lot of reps this week because of the injury to Grbac during practice, so he was able to build a rhythm that he hasn't felt ever since he put on a Chief uniform. On a 3rd and 5, here's Moon with a deep drop. Moon throw it. Caught by Morris. Turns it upfield for the first down. Into San Diego territory and forced down at the 43-yard line. That's a 10-yard hookup. Moon to Morris.
Now, it starts with protection up front. When we spoke with Gunther Cunningham, he told us point blank, the guys up front have to do a better job than they've been doing. Warren Moon gets the protection. He's able to look left. Now he reads the defense off. He dumps it off to the rookie and Sylvester Morris, and he went to the player that I thought that they would try to attack in Rodney Harrison, the strong safety.
Well, you mentioned Morris had the 3 touchdown catches in the first game, then became part of the starting lineup after that, after Kansas City blew out San Diego earlier this year at Arrowhead. And Warren Moon now 5 for 5. He came in 3 for 3. He is perfect so far on this regular season. Here's Moon in the pocket again. On a dump off, Kimball Anders able to turn it upfield for a short gain of 4. On the swing pass, Darrell Lewis with the tackle.
And for Warren Moon in the offense, it seems almost effortless. He sits back in the pocket, dumps the ball off left, dumps it right. He's just picking apart the San Diego defense. Not huge gains, But if on first down, a dump off like that, that's as good as a run of 4 or 5 yards on first down.
He's the oldest player in the NFL, along with Eddie Murray, who's a kicker for the Washington Redskins. So if you even want to compare the two positions, I know a guy like you wouldn't.
And for Warren Moon, can you believe this? If he plays next year, he can leave the game of football, go into early retirement, and collect his pension at 45.
He's talked about retirement next year, but you never know if things work out here. And Moon's first incomplete pass, he was looking for Gonzalez in double coverage. Warren Moon, his first start with the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL. Oh, man.
If you eliminate those 2 players, those 3 players, especially, he's got more experience than the rest of the football team offensively, and that's amazing for Warren Moon. And just to have what he has, the presence when he comes into the huddle. We talked to Tony Richardson, and he just said, eyes get big. You know, when Warren's in the huddle, it's different because basically you're playing with a Hall of Famer, a guy that's going to be in the Hall of Fame down the road.
On a 3rd and 6. Here's Moon, blitz on, Moon in some trouble, spins out, and brought down. Harrison came firing in, and he comes up limping. It's a loss of 9 on the safety blitz from Rodney Harrison.
And Warren Moon doesn't even see it. He never looks to his left. The blitz comes from his blind side. He never sees a safety on the line of scrimmage, and that's uncharacteristic for Warren Moon. But he avoids the first rush, and then he comes back the second time. He should throw the ball away. Here comes the blitz from this side. He doesn't see it. It's his blind side. Now get rid of the ball. He doesn't. Rodney Harrison stays with it. That's why he comes up with a sack.
5th sack of the year for Harrison, and maybe the younger Moon does get rid of it after that initial hit from Harrison. Sauerbrunn with a punt. Jacquet moves forward, fair catch signal, and brings it in. No, he doesn't. Loses the football at the 21. Is Jacquet claiming he was interfered with? It won't matter. The referees say Kansas City football. Larry Atkins on the recovery.
And the sun is awful bright out there, and Nate Jacquet has to look at this ball in. He has a chance right there. He's looking to his right, not looking at the ball. He took his eyes off the ball. That's why he bobbled it and fumbled it away.
Now, Greg Wesley was in his vicinity.
Very close to him. He was within a foot.
And Jacquet unable to handle it. Fans are getting a look at it on the big screen here at Qualcomm. Kansas City is rushing to the line of scrimmage. And they're not going to get a playoff. San Diego coaching staff may want the officials to take a look at this. And Bernie Kukar, the veteran referee, may have a discussion now with his fellow officials. Was Wesley too close to Jacquet?
I believe he was. He was within a foot. But I think the discussion now, I don't know if that's reviewable, Ryan. I think that's the discussion on the sidelines at this point. It is not reviewable.
I will hear from Bernie Kukar. Just had a conversation with Mike Riley. It's been that kind of year for the San Diego Chargers. Riley says, you know what? You allow yourself to feel unlucky a lot, but we've lost games.
Is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble. Their challenge says the ball hit Kansas City first.
Oh, wait a second.
Now, that didn't happen. Now, that's not the challenge which they're supposedly challenged. That's why I said it wasn't a challenge. The ball hit the San Diego player first. Watch the ball. Hits the San Diego player first. Yeah. Now, that they can challenge, but the other one they could not challenge.
Well, now you're just going to blow a timeout. He backed up enough. There may have been a foot in between the two, if maybe even less.
But I think if you're Mike Riley, you've got to try just about everything. That's why there was a discussion before they even decided to challenge on the sidelines. It's like, well, what can we do here?
Oh,
it's not even close.
Well, the bottom line is you got to bring in the football. Yeah, the sun is out. Whether Jacquet was in some trouble because of the sun or because Wesley was too close to him is irrelevant right now.
Absolutely right. If you're a professional football player, he's done this 5,000 times in practice and in games. You concentrate on the ball first. You're oblivious to whatever's around you. You don't worry about that. You worry about getting the ball in your hands.
Especially once the fair catch signal is made. Your only job at that point is to hold on to the football. And Jacquet was unable to do so. This is an open and shut case for Bernie Kukar. It's not even close.
It's very bright down there on the field. I was down there early. I couldn't believe how warm it is. Usually this time in San Diego, it's 65, maybe 68 degrees. In the sun, it's about 90 today. It's incredible. That's how bright it is. And if you're trying to receive a football in that sun, it's very difficult to see. I'm not making an excuse for Nate Jacquet, but when you have the sun right in your face, it's hard to find the ball. But still, that's his job.
Well, turnovers have absolutely crushed the San Diego team, not just this year, but in years gone by. They are minus 16 in turnover ratio this year. Bernie Kukar continues to look at it, unless he's seeing something that we're not seeing. Not sure why it would take up as much time as it is. Nate Jacquet fumbling the football on a fair catch attempt. And Kansas City will have
reviewing the
tremendous
play stands and called. It is a fumble. First down, Kansas City.
Well, great field position now. Line of scrimmage will be the 24. San Diego loses a timeout at the 7:10 mark of the first quarter.
And when we spoke with Gunther Cunningham last night, one of the areas he said that he wanted to improve on, that he put a little more emphasis in this week, were special teams. He wanted to get back to playing the hard, tough-nosed special teams that Kansas City's been known for.
First and 10 for Moon at the 24. Moon, good protection, puts it up in the air and too high. Derek Alexander, the intended receiver. Fakir Brown was able to get his fingertips on it. It's incomplete.
And for Warren Moon, he told us that he has to adjust to the offensive players in this offense. They don't have to adjust to him, and this ball is just thrown in the wrong spot. Obviously, it's behind the receiver, not on the mark where the receiver is, and the timing they have to get down. Even though he's only had 1 week with the receivers in the first bunch, it's taken him a while to get that down. But he has to adjust to their routes. They're used to running certain routes in certain plays, and they're used to having the ball in certain areas. So Warren Moon is going to pull it back a little bit and adjusting to catch up to the offense.
As mentioned, turnovers continuing to cost the San Diego team. Worst in the NFL in terms of ratio. On 2nd and 10, here's Moon. Spirals it to the end zone. Incomplete. Again, Alexander in a matchup with Brown. And Moon has been unable to cash in on that combination.
And the offense has changed about 2 gears. Early in the game when Warren Moon started off the game, he was hot. He couldn't miss a pass. Now he can't seem to make a pass. The timing was there, the quick dump offs. Now for some reason when he's throwing the ball vertically down the field, he's not as accurate with a short pass, with his long passes as he was with his short passes.
Play selection so far, 2 running plays, 10 passes. Gunther Cunningham talked about trying to balance out this offense, but they keep going to what they feel is their bread and butter. And that's throwing the football. On a 3rd and 10. Moon in the pocket. Flushed out. Moon looking to run. Flag down as Moon goes down short of the 20. He picks up 2 yards. Junior Seau in on the stop. But a penalty marker on the field.
Holding 66 offense. Holding 66 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Now for Warren Moon, scrambling out of the pocket, he still has wheels to get back to the line of scrimmage and grab a few yards, but he doesn't have the speed to go downfield. There's no way he's going to outrun a Junior Seau. Here he does an outstanding job of stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the rush, and heading downfield and picking up positive yards for the offense, but Junior Seau just has the angle on, has too much speed, catches from behind.
A 40-yard field goal attempt for Todd Peterson, who has been inconsistent since taking over for Pete Stojanovic. 6 of 10, a long of only 37. This would be his longest field goal of the season. A 40-yarder. Peterson puts it through, and Kansas City takes a 3-0 lead. Points off of turnovers. Kansas City gets 3 of them. And Nate Jacquet leading to the Kansas City field goal. Want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Buffalo-Tampa Bay game, with the Buccaneers getting a much-needed win. Kansas City now leading San Diego 3-0 here in the first quarter at Qualcomm Stadium in beautiful California. Warren Moon getting his first start as a Chief for the injured Elvis Grbac. And the Chiefs capitalizing off of a San Diego turnover. Ian Eagle along with Mark May Ronnie Jenkins on a return as he crosses the 30-yard line. And he's tackled by Eric Warfield on special teams. A 27-yard return. Happy holidays, everybody. Kansas City leads the Chargers 3-0. 3-0 Chiefs leading the Chargers. 6:24 left in the first quarter. Want to remind all of you that with the developments in the presidential race, we will keep you updated here on CBS. CBS News is standing by with any updates later on today, so keep it right here on CBS. Ryan Leaf, second possession now for the Chargers, and a 1st and 10 from the 32. Leaf, play fake on a rollout. He hits McCrary, and McCrary off to the sideline for a gain of 9. Marcus Patton rode him out of bounds.
For Ryan Leaf in this offense, they want to do what's comfortable for Ryan Leaf. He's got a 5-game audition coming up, and the way that he's been playing the last few weeks, particularly last week, that was his career game. He had a great game, and when I talked to Mike Riley, he said he was able to call audibles. That was key. When he got up to the line of scrimmage, he made the right decisions. And the biggest thing, he read the blitz and hit big plays offensively.
And Leaf is not downplaying this 5-game stretch. He knows how important it is if he wants to stay in a Charger uniform. On a pitch, Fletcher has a 1st down and then some. Fletcher forced to the sideline. McCrary with a good block up front and a 10-yard gain. New set of downs for San Diego.
Keep an eye on number 66, Kevin Gogan, right here. He's listed at 325. He's not 325. He's about 370. But I want you to watch the big guy get out and motor. They're going to down block. He's going to go out and clear out, put a block right on the edge of Donnie Edwards and clear the way. And when you get a big guy like that out there in the flat, you got to stay behind him. As soon as he makes the block, make the cut, pick up positive yardage. Smart decision.
Fletcher taking it to the Kansas City 49 and a 1st down for the Chargers. Leaf straight back. Leaf looks. Long ball thrown. Down the sideline and out of bounds. He was looking for Jeff Graham and a flag on the play. Eric Warfield had the coverage one-on-one. Warfield regaining his starting job. He's had some back problems throughout the year.
Pass interference, 44 defense.
Welcome back to the starting lineup, Eric.
Now, what they did on the outside is they threw a double move on Eric Warfield. He went for the fake on the outside. You've got to respect the speed of Jeff Graham. Right here, goes for the first move, boom, turn around, go for the second move. Well, he went for the first move, put his hands on him down the field of play, and that's why he's called for the pass interference.
A beautiful stop and go, and it costs Kansas City's defense 19 yards on the penalty. McCrary will set up as a receiver, normally the fullback. So Fletcher is by himself in the backfield. Just over 5 minutes left now in the first. On 1st down, bootleg, Leaf under some heat and forced to throw it away. Dan Williams was applying that pressure in the pocket.
Now, in looking at that play, it doesn't seem like much, but that's the growth that Ryan Leaf has made. If you go back a few games, if you go back to his rookie year, that's a pass he tried to force downfield and rely on his arm strength. Now he's smart enough that he's grown to throw the ball away and live for another play.
Had the 3 touchdown passes last week. Why was that his best game as a pro? Well, he had 4 total touchdowns heading into that game. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Play fake. Leaf. Thrown out to the flat. McCrary accelerating for the 1st down. Fred McCrary has not been a big part of this passing game this season, but he's gotten involved early. John Browning making the stop.
And the key to this play is Ryan Leaf. He looks to the middle of the field. He gets the defense to settle down. Then he turns right out to a safety valve in Fred McCrary. And this is the part of Ryan Leaf, the progression. I like it. It's only been 2 plays that we've seen in the last 2 plays, but he's not making the mistakes, particularly the fundamental mistakes. If he's getting pressured, he rolls out. He makes things happen. Get rid of the ball.
You keep in mind, this is his 16th career NFL game. That's 1 season. He's in his 3rd year. Here's Leaf. Pump fake. Steps up. Leaf flings it to the sideline, to the end zone, caught by Jones. Touchdown, San Diego. Leaf took a shot from John Browning, but had the presence to deliver the football. And San Diego takes the lead.
For Ryan Leaf, steps up in the pocket, sits back, looks at the defense, the arm fake, and he hangs in the pocket. That's what I like about it. He hangs in there, he knows he's going to take a hit, and he throws the ball to his big tight end, Freddie Jones. Smart quarterback play. He knows he's going to get hit, but he waits to the last second to get rid of the ball, wait for his big tight end to beat Greg Wesley, get behind him, drop the ball in there. Great throw, great catch.
Extra point, Carney. 4th touchdown of the season for Freddie Jones. 6th touchdown for Leaf. It's 7-3 Chargers. San Diego looking for its first win of the season at 0-11. A 5-play, 68-yard drive. Time of possession, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 20-yard touchdown, Leaf to Jones. Everybody talking about the season Gonzalez is having for Kansas City. It's been a great one. I tell you, Freddie Jones having a Pro Bowl type campaign as well. On the kickoff, out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds. The ball will be placed 30 yards from the kickoff spot. First down.
Freddie Jones quietly having the best season of his young career as a tight end for the Chargers. Really good field position for Kansas City after the errant kickoff.
フレディ・ジョーンズがタッチダウンパスをレセプションいたしまして、エクストラポイント決まって7対3と逆転。いつもあれでしたね、レディ・ジョーンズとこのフレディ・ジョーンズ。
Ryan Leaf, impressive so far in the first quarter. Now Kansas City takes over, a 1st and 10 from their own 40. Move, hesitates, and it costs him. Darren Mickle with the sack for San Diego.
And that's the rustiness of a Warren Moon. He hasn't played in 2 years, hasn't started in 2 years, hasn't played that much in the last 2 years. But here's a smarter quarterback that would step up and get rid of it. A Warren Moon 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago goes with the play action fake. It's not there. Step up. You don't have all day. Get rid of it right now. Throw it away. He doesn't. That's what causes a sack.
It's a loss of 5. And Darren Mickle picks up his 2nd sack of the year. He's a former Chief. Anders sets up as a receiver to the outside. Long count for Moon on 2nd and 15. Blitz coming again, and Moon is forced to unload it. Tony Gonzalez, the intended receiver, on the slant. And the clock is stopped with 3:42 to go in the first.
He wanted to go to Tony Gonzalez, but he just didn't have time on this play. They're blitzing from the inside and on the outside. Gerald Dixon comes. He wants the quick break off to Tony Gonzalez. He didn't read the blitz. He kept going down the field to play. When the blitz is coming, Tony Gonzalez has to break that off. A quick slant, he goes down the field to play. That's what Warren Moon was trying to hit.
Elvis Gerback had his streak of 28 straight starts snapped today. Is listed as the 3rd quarterback, emergency quarterback. He was throwing the football on the sideline during practice on Friday, but Gunther Cunningham wasn't comfortable with it. That's why he decided to go with Moon. Moon is checking off of the line. The crowd is getting into it. Play clock is winding down.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
This is what the San Diego defense wanted to do to Warren Moon. Confuse him, disrupt him, knock him around. He hasn't seen a lot of defenses because he hasn't played a lot. And now the Kansas City Chiefs offense, they have to regroup. Warren Moon's a veteran. He's been through this a million times. He's got to settle his team down.
Moon started today 6 of 6 throwing the football. He is 0 of 4 since. And now a 3rd and 20. 3 receiver set. Draw play. Tony Richardson breaks a tackle initially and is brought down shy of the 35 by the linebacker Gerald Dixon. It's a gain of 5, and Kansas City will punt it.
And with all the injuries the San Diego defense has had this season at the cornerback position, the interior linemen, they've always found a way to compete. Joe Pascal, their defensive coordinator, has always come up with schemes to put pressure on offenses. They've kept the scores close. Last week wasn't one of their banner weeks, but in prior weeks, they've always figured out a way to keep it close.
Mike Riley hoping Nate Jacquet could hold on to this one from Todd Sauerbrunn. That fumble led to Kansas City's lone points. 7-3 San Diego. High punt for Sauerbrunn. Jacquet ranging over. Tough catch to make. Go figure. He can't bring in the easier one from before. This one off balance. Able to haul it in. William Barty in on the stop after the 46-yard punt. Dangerous, dangerous play by Nate Jacquet. But San Diego will have the football when we come back. Just a picture-perfect day in Southern California. San Diego leading Kansas City 7-3. We are in the late stages now, first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 20. Ryan Leaf already has a 20-yard touchdown pass to his credit, trying to run out of trouble, and he's brought down from behind. The rush coming from Dan Williams. Well, no team has ever gone 0-16 in a season. NFL started the 16-game schedule back in 1978. The Buccaneers in 1976, an expansion team, 0-14. San Diego doesn't want any part of this particular graphic. They like to put an end to this today at 0-11, the longest losing streak in franchise history. They give Dan Williams the sack. It's a loss of a fraction of a yard. Handoff, Fletcher. It fooled the Kansas City defense, and Fletcher has some room. Putting it upfield and crossing the 35-yard line. First down for the Chargers and a pickup of 18. Left side of that offensive line did a good job creating space.
Now, down the field of play, Curtis Conway throws a spectacular block, unleashing him into the secondary. Great blocking to the interior three. Fletcher has the quickness and speed to hide between the big boys. But right here, you're going to see a block right there at the top of the screen by Conway on James Hasty that releases Fletcher into the defensive backfield. That's an outstanding play because it was blocked and executed by everyone on the offense.
Mike Riley was looking for a spark offensively at the running back position, and that's why Fletcher got the nod here over Jermaine Fazan. Fake the handoff. Leaf will throw it. Good protection. Wide open on the sideline. Curtis Conway making Freddie Jones. Jones brings it in cleanly for a gain of 19.
And thus far in this game, this is what the San Diego Chargers envisioned out of Ryan Leaf. A leader in the huddle, moving the team offensively, holding onto the ball at the last second, and finding the open receiver in the offense. And he dumps the ball to Freddie Jones, a tight end, vertically down the field of play. He's always been a player that has the arm strength to throw downfield. They wanted a vertical game back in San Diego. That's the original reason why they drafted him.
Leafs numbers, they look good so far, leading 7-3. That's the most important number for San Diego. On the draw play up the middle. And Terrell Fletcher crosses the 40-yard line. He picks up about 3.5. With the clock winding down here in the first, Greg Wesley in on the tackle.
When I played with the Washington Redskins, we had John Riggins, a big bruiser, big 250-pounder. Well, San Diego Chargers, they have Robert Chancey, 250, Jermaine Fazan, 250 pounds. All of a sudden, you're bringing in Terrell Fletcher. It's like our Joe Washington that we had in the 80s. Small, can hide between the huge offensive linemen, a lot of speed between the tackles, can always break the big play, but keep the chains moving.
He's really been known as a third down back in his 6th year out of Wisconsin, a former second-round draft pick. Leaf tripped up, and flags come down as he was trying to make his way into the pocket.
The left side of the offensive line moved a little early. Ben Coleman, the left tackle.
That play was ugly from the start. Bernie Kukar.
Ball starts. 74 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It is the 4th-year pro, Raleigh Roundtree. Was mostly a backup last year, but with Aaron Taylor retiring, Roundtree was forced into starting duty on this offensive line. Could be the final play of the first quarter. On a 2nd and 12. Trevor Gaylor is in as the 3rd receiver for San Diego. Leaf short drop and a quick throw. Inside move made by Graham. And a first down for the Chargers as they continue to move the football. A 21-yard gain. Line of scrimmage will be the 23 when we come back. It's the end of the first. San Diego with a 7-3 lead over Kansas City. And we'll come back to Qualcomm Stadium right after this message.
Prime Shopping.
さあ本日ご紹介するのは片手で OK オートハンマーです。うわー、これはひどい釘がごちゃごちゃどうするんですか。危ない危ないって、痛い思いをすることはありません。見てください、トンカチ革命、片手で釘が打てるオートハンマーです。グリップに釘を入れて、はい、ワンプッシュ。あとは片手で打つだけ。もう一度ワンプッシュ、トントントン。信じられません。連続壁打ちもオートハンマーならこの通り。こんな時、こんな場所をそれでいてオートハンマー。練習など必要ありません。誰でも素早く簡単にできるんです。あなたのオートハンマーならもう誤って指を打つことはありません。グリップ内の釘がヘッド部へ、磁石が釘を正確にセット。壁面に対していつも垂直に打ち込むことができます。実に簡単。縛られたって構いません。 オートハンマーのおかげで仕事時間が半分になったよ。いいよこれは。日曜大工も簡単、しかも綺麗な仕上がり。はしごがなくても片手でこの通り。見てください、こんなことする必要はありませんが、つまりタフなんです。オートハンマーを使えば素早く仕事が片付きます。高価なネイルガンは必要ありません。さあ今すぐあなたのオートハンマーを手に入れてください。さらに使って便利ポケットレベラーもこれなくプレゼント。いつでもどこでも水平レベルが簡単に取れます。まだあります、プレゼント。釘100本もお付けしてお値段なんと3980円。プロが驚くスピード仕上げ、オートハンマーです。
お申し込みは今すぐ。フリーダイヤル 0120-539-639 番でどうぞ。代金はお届けの際現金でお支払いください。消費税送料は別途。皆様からのお電話お待ちしております。
Kansas City trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Losses to Oakland, San Francisco, and Buffalo. In fact, they've come to the West Coast 4 out of the last 5 weeks the way it's worked out. San Diego just needs a win at 0-11. And the Chargers on the move once again. A 1st and 10 at the 23, already leading it 7-3 as we start play in the second quarter. Draw play. Fletcher trying to dance his way ahead, and it's not going to happen. It's a loss of 2 on 1st down. Dwayne Clemens able to wrap him up. 7-3, the Chargers leading the Chiefs. Let's go to New York for a CBS News campaign update. Dan Rather. Second and 12 now. Early in the second quarter. From the 25-yard line. And movement from the Kansas City defense. Were they brought off sides by the San Diego offensive line?
Encroachment, 75 defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
San Diego 7, Kansas City 3. First minute of play in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Mark May with you from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California. And now a 2nd and 7 for the Chargers as Leaf throws it. Off the mark, he was looking for Graham, and a flag down. Eric Warfield can't believe the penalty marker. That'll be his second interference.
44 defense. That's the first down.
And Eric Warfield's all over the back of the receiver. He gets there too early. It's his first start. He started the season as a starter. Then he was benched. Then he was injured. Now he's back in his first start. He's fighting down the field with Jeff Graham. He's got a hold of him. The right arm on his shoulder, keeps a hold of him. He goes over his back.
It's an 11-yard penalty. It's a 1st and goal now from the 9. Jermaine Fazan will check in a double tight end set. Jones and Hyde. 1st and goal. Jones, the motion man. Leaf, handoff. Fazan left his feet and picks up a few. Pat Dennis with the stop. He cut him down low.
Now that's a guy that shouldn't leave his feet. When you're 250 pounds, you don't leave your feet when you're running the ball. You stay low, you power it in there and lower your shoulders, and you'll pick up more additional yardage. But it's a great 1-2 punch when you've got a small back like a Terrell Fletcher that's in there. The defense has to adjust to the big man that comes in, Jermaine Fazan.
And now Fletcher will return, replacing Fazan. He's been the starter for the most part once Chancey went down with an injury earlier this year. 7-play drive. San Diego looking to extend its lead. Graham in motion on a 2nd and goal. Leaf, play action. Wants to throw it. Leaf on a rollout. Buying time. Back of the end zone. Caught by Jones. Touchdown, Chargers.
design. This is a huge play for Ryan Leaf. Sets up in the huddle, rolls to his right. It's a design play. Gets out of the pocket to his right. The tight end, Freddie Jones. You either have 2 plays to go. You either sit in the back of the end zone in front of the goalpost, or you find a corner and settle down. And Ryan Leaf does an outstanding job of finding his tight end in the corner of the end zone and Freddie Jones.
Second time that combination is hooked up for a score. John Carney tacks on the extra point, an 8-play, 80-yard drive. And the winless Chargers leading the Chiefs early in the second quarter. 14-3, San Diego. Another long drive by this San Diego offense, 80 yards. And the Chargers in front, 14-3. Carney kicking it off. Parker and Cloud waiting, and this will be Cloud from the 9. Cloud takes a hit and goes down as he crosses the 30-yard line. Reggie Davis in on the stop. Ryan Leaf, pretty good so far.
これで2度のね、
タッチダウンリセプションですよね。
しかし今日こう見てくるとね、
はい。
彼に全然ボール。
An offside called on the kick. New pickup Armin Hatcher, who was put on the active roster for this game, was offside on San Diego, so Kansas City looking for better field position. Ball would have been on the 32-yard line. Let's see where the Chiefs get it after the Chargers kick it off. After the first touchdown, Chargers kicked it out of bounds. Now after this touchdown, a penalty on the kickoff. So even though they're enjoying success, there's still, unfortunately, adversity that they face. The kind of season it's been. It'll be Cloud again, this time from the 12. Cloud looking for an angle, and they pick up a few extra yards. Reggie Davis again in on the stop. No flags, and we'll step aside. 14-3, Chargers. Top. The patience of Ryan Leaf paying off on that touchdown pass to Freddie Jones.
And what they run is they run a roll pass right. You take the fullback, Fred McCurry, he leads out here. Your tailback, Fletcher, he gets the block here. Your tight end, Freddie Jones, he's going to squat here. Go to the corner over here. Your quarterback, fake the run, roll out, throw the pass, look at the back of the end zone for your tight end and Freddie Jones, and he gets there. There's the fake, there's the cut, there's the roll, there's your tight end. Here I am, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. Give me the ball. He does a little late, but it's just enough to get the touchdown. Well-executed play by the San Diego Charger offense.
And the problem for Kansas City right now, obviously the Chargers are thirsting for a win. But Gunther Cunningham told us last night that he expects this Kansas City defense to get back to what they're accustomed to being. Ornery, nasty. We haven't seen it so far. Still early in the second quarter. And the other issue at quarterback, Warren Moon now in a 14-3 hole. Handoff, Kimball Anders. And Anders with a 10-yard run on first down. Depending upon the spot, if they give him progress, it'll be a new set of downs. Fakir Brown with a tackle.
And also in that conversation, he said he also got him with the special teams meeting. He sat in the defensive meeting. They put on a 9-on-7 reel. And 9-on-7, it's more of a smash mouth reel during the season where you condense everything. There's no wide receivers on the outside, and you hit each other in the mouth, run the football, and the defense has to stop the run. And what it does, it builds excitement. And he just wanted to build that tough mentality back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Brought all the defensive players in the room and said, this is the way it should be done.
Gunther Cunningham has a lot of experience with Warren Moon. We'll tell you about that in a moment. It's Anders again, and now maybe Kansas City will get into the game plan that they described. Running the football, establishing that part of the game, and then setting things up after that 5-yard gain for Anders.
Well, you have to run the football to set up, 1, the play-action pass, and 2, to get the defense on their heels. And I'm surprised that they came out early throwing the ball with Warren Moon. They said they wanted to protect him as much as possible, but they wanted to establish the run and control the line of scrimmage.
Cunningham coached against Warren Moon, not only in college, but in the CFL as well. So they go back 20-some-odd years. Again, the handoff. Anders tried to cut it to the outside after the initial play was led to the interior. Well, Warren Moon was forced to go to the CFL after leaving Washington. You want to do a comparison, Rose Bowl comparison, Warren Moon, Ryan Leaf. Take a look at that. Wow.
20 years. That's incredible.
Warren Moon came out with a victory. Leaf came up short. On a 3rd and 3. Kevin Lockett, third receiver. On the handoff, Tony Richardson rumbling his way forward, and he gets to the 40-yard line. That's a 10-yard gain. They needed just 3. And into San Diego territory.
And this is the offense that Gunther Cunningham really wants. He really loves to run the football, particularly early on early downs. And now watch Warren Moon throw deep with the football. They want to establish a tempo offensively. They want to give Warren Moon a chance to roll this offense the way that he wants to roll this offense and mold it the way that he wants to and roll out with the ball on various times. He doesn't have the legs he used to have, but he definitely has the arm.
On 1st down. Coming up on 10 minutes to play, first half. Play action. Moon, deep drop, deep ball, looking for it all. Incomplete. Sylvester Morris, stride for stride. Deron Jenkins was with him. Adrian Dingle applied some heat in the pocket.
And this is what I said. They were setting up the deep ball for Warren Moon. Pound the ball, get the safeties to step up. He almost bobbles that snap, but he holds on to it. Play action pass, set up, throw the ball deep, but he gets pressure by Adrian Dingle right in front of his face. If he gets a little more time to throw this ball, he's got a chance to complete it. On the outside, Sylvester Morris runs in, then runs back to the corner.
Now, sometimes you're going to try to catch the defense napping, but Kansas City was running the football effectively on 1st down. They go away from it, now face a 2nd and 10. Motion man Alexander. Moon on the slant, incomplete. Sylvester Morris and Jenkins one-on-one once again.
Sylvester Morris and Warren Moon aren't on the same page. Warren Moon reads the blitz, and what happens, you've got a blitz break off. Sylvester Morris has to break it off immediately. He hesitates on the outside and then breaks it off. That's why the play's incomplete.
Warren Moon did tell us that he is going to have to do more of the adjusting to the receivers as opposed to them adjusting to him. They're the ones that have played in 11 games prior to this one. And it's Moon just trying to get into a flow offensively. Now facing a 3rd and 10 from the 40. On a pitch. Richardson looking to turn the corner. Richardson brought down from behind. Couldn't get out of the grasp of Tim Denton. And it goes down as a gain of 2.
I'll tell you one thing. This is a huge play by Tim Denton because he's being tracked by Tim Grunhard, and he gets hit in the back. Keep an eye on Grunhard. He's going to pull out, try to get a block right here. Watch Grunhard. He's going to hit him in the back. He doesn't even get to him. He didn't even hit him in the back. He wasn't quick enough to get there, but that's a great play by Denton of getting to the edge.
And the drive stalls at the 38-yard line. A possession that looked promising for the Kansas City offense, and they're forced to punt once again with Sauerbrunn. Nate Jacquet waiting. It's been an adventure for him so far. Jacquet, fair catch. And this time he brings it in at the 17-yard line. San Diego gets the football back. Already leading it 14-3. San Diego, California, the Chargers leading the Chiefs 14-3. Yeah, why not? Go shirtless on a day like this. And the Chargers with a 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Ryan Leaf has looked sharp so far in the first half. Leaf will throw it and deflect it at the line of scrimmage. Chester McLaughlin getting his hand on it and incomplete.
It's one thing Chester McLaughlin's always been able to do is get a good rush on the quarterback. Very low, gets a good push, has a lot of strength. He goes with a swim move on Gogan here, but watch, he rolls the hips right there and keeps pushing. Gets his hands up at the end. You want to push the pile as a defensive tackle. If you can't get to the quarterback, collapse the pocket.
A lot of close games this year for the San Diego Chargers. 4 of their 11 losses have been by 2 points or less. And their past 5 losses have come by a total of 18 points. A total. Fletcher. Little juke move as he crosses the 20-yard line. He picks up about 5 on 2nd down. Mike Mislowski in on the stop, and then the rest of the Kansas City defense comes in to converge. Kevin Gogan with a block up front. We'll call it a gain of 6.
And Terrell Fletcher's speed is amazing. He outruns his blockers sometimes. He gets out in front of his blockers, but the size of him, he can hide in there. Only 5'8". He's hard to find behind 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" offensive lineman. He always finds a crease. He's got the ability and great vision to see downfield and hit the crease and pick up positive yardage.
It's been no contest offensively so far. San Diego has been able to move the football with ease, and it's been Kansas City struggling after the good start by Moon. Movement and a flag down. Dan Williams with a jump.
And that's his second time, and Ryan Leaf is doing a wonderful job with his voice inflection at the line of scrimmage.
Offside. 92 defense unabated towards the quarterback. It's a 5-yard penalty.
And it is Williams who gets collared on that penalty.
There's Dan Williams, obviously, right there at the top of the screen. What happens for a quarterback is he'll change his inflection at the line. He'll start off, hut, 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 then he'll change it, hut, hut, hut. And what happens, defensive linemen, they key on that. If they think it's on a second or third snap count, they're going to try to anticipate it and jump a little early.
What was the second one? I think I missed the second.
Hut, hut, hut.
That's the second one. You didn't play any QB, did you?
In my mind.
Well, Pop Warner, maybe.
Hey, I was too big for Pop Warner. They just couldn't handle
they didn't
me.
let you play, is that right?
I was a little bit too heavy, as we may say.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a moment. Terrell Fletcher loses the football. Fletcher coughing it up. Kansas City claims they have it, and they do. James Hasty. The Kansas City defense had gone 3 games without forcing a fumble, and that streak comes to an end.
They're still fighting for the football, but it is Kansas City ball. And Terrell Fletcher just really doesn't get a handle on it, and it's the speed and the upfield movement on the Kansas City Chiefs. And for James Hasty, one of the best all time. 44 career interceptions. That's his 24th career fumble recovery.
He's the only player in NFL history with 40-plus interceptions and 20-plus fumble recoveries.
And that's incredible. And it's a great job of Dwayne Clemens of stripping the ball out of Terrell Fletcher's hands. But he's got it in the right arm. He just has to cradle it in and get a handle on the ball.
And now Gunther Cunningham's offense has to do something with it. A 1st and 10 at the San Diego 25. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers for this San Diego team throughout the year. On a give. Anders, and not much there as he takes it straight ahead. A pickup of 2. And Rodney Harrison comes up steamed after the play. Antoine Simpson made the stop for San Diego.
He just got catapulted at the end of the play.
James Hasty, one of the many leaders on this Kansas City team. First time in franchise history they had gone without a turnover in 3 straight games.
And this team led the NFL with a positive 21-plus turnover ratio last year alone, so they know how to create turnovers and protect the ball on offense.
On 2nd and long, Tony Richardson gets the call this time, and he is stacked up as he tries to run inside the tackles. John Perella, the first man there. Perella, born in Topeka, Kansas, but grew up in Nebraska. A gain of 2.
John Perella, one of the strongest guys on this football team. Loves to eat weights, lives in the weight room, has phenomenal strength, particularly at the point of attack. And he's got the ability to use his long arms, stand up an offensive lineman, shut him to the side, and make the tackle.
It's been such a difficult year for the Perella family. John lost his father earlier in the season. And now a 3rd and 7. Gonzalez sets up as a 4th receiver. Great field position. Can Kansas City take advantage of it? Moon deep drop. Here comes the rush. Hits his man Morris and gets across the marker. First down Kansas City inside the 15. Darrell Lewis was the man that got into the pocket.
And this is what a veteran of Warren Moon gets you. You're going to have a defender get right in his face. What happens on the play, he's able to read downfield, hit the crossing pattern until Sylvester Morris. And that's what an experienced veteran gives you in Warren Moon. He's seen it 100 times. He knows what to do. He doesn't panic. Knows he's going to get tattooed at the end of the play, but get rid of the ball at the last instant.
Morris, 2 catches, 18 yards, and a crucial first down for Kansas City. Now a 1st and 10 of the 14. Hand it off. Anders tripped up. And a loss on the play. Lewis getting him down low.
That's a heck of a play by Darrell Lewis. Knifing through, making the tackle in the backfield. What Kansas City's trying to do is establish something on the line of scrimmage that they are strong and dominant at the point of attack. But it's the corners coming up into Darrell Lewis, forcing to run, getting that 8th man in the box and getting penetration in the backfield and dropping for the loss.
2nd and 11 from the 15. Clock is moving. 5:27 to play in the 2nd quarter. San Diego with a 14-3 lead on the Chiefs. Moon, stick with the run, and Anders cannot keep his footing.
Well, he saw big number 55, Junior Seau, coming through. Junior Seau doesn't even touch him. Just his presence, Kimball Anders tries to make a cut and slips on the play. Junior Seau, it's a run blitz. Keep an eye on 55, Junior Seau. Here it is, it's a run blitz all the way. He's coming to get Kimball Anders. He sees him, tries to make a cut, and just falls in front of him.
Seau was locked in, but he didn't even have to do much because Anders slipped off the handoff. 3rd and 13. Now these Charger fans, despite their team being 0-11, they are energetic. And here's Moon. Knocked down. He was looking for Richardson, but Al Fontenot getting a piece of it.
Ryan, this entire play starts at number 55, Junior Seau, coming on the blitz. It allows him to collapse the pocket right there. He puts pressure on Warren Moon. He tries to dump the ball off. Al Fontenot jumps up and bats the ball away. But it all starts with the blitz of number 55, coming over right guard Will Shields and putting pressure on quarterback Warren Moon.
On a double tap by Seau and Fontenot. And a field goal now of 34 yards for Todd Peterson. Peterson's kick is good. Todd Peterson has accounted for all of Kansas City's points. The Chargers, though, with a 14-6 lead, 4:32 to play. First half from Qualcomm. The Monster.com Blimp Skeeter is providing us with these live aerial shots of the game today. Monster.com operates 2 blimps in the U.S. Skeeter is the name of the red monster on the bottom of the blimp. He's one of Monster's many characters. You can read more details on their website, Monster.com. Ronnie Jenkins emerging through a hole and getting across the 30-yard line. Gary Stills with a stop on special teams after the 27-yard gain. Gunther Cunningham's team, they're down in the second quarter. 14-6 Chargers.
安定さをね失ってくる可能性ももちろんありますよね。彼はゲームの中でも波がありますし、シーズン通しても波がありますから、ですからそのミスを引き出すためのなんかこうプレッシャーがねかかるようなディフェンスということですよね。
どちらかといえばこう現代の若い人のパターンというか、すぐ切れるっていう。
切れるん
ですね。
あるかもしれない。
San Diego with a lead. Kansas City back in October came up with a victory over St. Louis. Everybody figured that this team was going to be playoff bound. Meanwhile, San Diego, these fans just want one win. Forget about multiple wins. Off the play fake. Leaf steps up in the pocket, now in some trouble, and he is brought down. A sack. Mike Meslowski able to wrap him up. James Hasty among those applying pressure. It's the second Kansas City sack of the day.
Well, it's James Hasty coming from the edge, and Ryan Leaf doesn't read him, and he doesn't get blocked by Terrell Fletcher right at the left of the screen. That's the player he has to block. Pressure on the outside by Hasty. Ryan Leaf has to step up in the pocket, but all the pressure is caused by the blitz of James Hasty.
I guess if you're Kansas City right now, the one thing working in your favor is that San Diego has not been able to figure out a way to finish games. Despite having a first half lead, fourth quarters, it's been a problem for the Chargers. On a pump fake, Leaf trying to set up the screen, flag down, Fletcher won't go down initially and does on that second wave of tacklers led by William Barty and Donnie Edwards. It's a loss of 1 on the play. But a holding is going to bring this one back anyway.
Now, you mentioned it before, the Chargers just can't finish. And a lot of teams, when you play teams like that, I've experienced some of this, when you play a team that can't finish, you feel if you can hang around in the fourth quarter.
66 offense. Penalty is declined. Third down.
You'll find a way to finish and beat that opponent. All you have to do is just hang there. They may come out explosive in the first half. Just put points on the board and hang around, and you'll find a way to defeat them.
Now, still a one-possession game the way you look at it at 14-6. So Kansas City can't feel all that bad going into the locker room if they keep it at this score. It's still a chance to get the football back before halftime hits. A 3rd and 15. Gaylor is the third receiver, and a deep drop for Leaf. The protection is there. Dumps it off. Fletcher. And he's driven back. Fletcher wanted to get some extra room in front of him in hopes of getting a first down. He's not even close. He picks up 5. James Hasty with the stop. And San Diego will punt it with the clock moving as we approach 3 minutes remaining first half.
Well, Gunther Cunningham called on his defense to step up and be nasty. Play like you used to. James Hasty has taken that challenge on today. He's played a heck of a game thus far in this game.
Darren Bennett with Kevin Lockett waiting at his own 16-yard line. Lockett's longest return coming into the game, 13 yards. Had a better one earlier.
What I love about Darren Bennett, when he punts the ball, it's like he's not even trying. He goes 60 yards in the air.
And a delay of game.
delay a game, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
There is an effortless aspect to what Darren Bennett does. You're right. He's 3rd in the NFL in punting average behind Tom Tupa of the Jets and Shane Lechler of the Raiders.
Just watch his stroke. It's amazing. A lot of punters that get the height and the depth that he gets and the distance, they come off the ground, they're putting everything into it. With him, it's just like a smooth motion. It's like hitting a 9-iron.
Former Australian rules football player. Been able to distinguish himself here in North America. Lockett is waiting. Another high punt. Lockett waits for it. Has some room from the 23-yard line, and Lockett is spilled out as he comes up shy of the 30. About a 7-yard return and a 49-yard punt. Well, the close losses that we talked about for the San Diego Chargers. Week 1, lost by 3 to the Raiders. Week 2, lost by 1 to the New Orleans Saints. These photo finishes just keep coming. Week 7 in overtime to Buffalo. Raiders again a loss by 2. Then a loss to Seattle in Week 9 last week for Ron McCaffrey. And a touchdown gives Denver a 38-37 victory. Broncos trailed by 17 points in the 4th quarter. And Mike Riley's team was unable to hold on for the win. 1st and 10 from the 30 for Warren Moon and the Chiefs. Throwing on 1st down. A good route. And Derek Alexander is driven back. If they give him progress, it'll be a new set of downs. Fakir Brown with the coverage. And we've hit the 2-minute warning in the 2nd quarter. San Diego 0-11. They lead Kansas City 14-6.
SEM 住友伝説の目指すもの、それは時代を先駆ける創造性、それは人間への快適性、それはニーズに応える信頼性、エネルギーで環境でそして情報通信で明日のシステムを提案します。 SEM 住友伝説。
飛ばない、うまく振れない、当たらない、また OB。 そこで踏んだり蹴ったりのゴルファーに大好評なのがこのドライバーフェアウェイキープ360だ。見るからにでかい、なんと 360cc ヘッド、そして標準より6センチ以上も短い 42.5 インチ短尺シャフトを装着し、ボールとヘッドがぐぐっと手元に大接近。こんなにでっかく見えて打ちやすくなった。だから
小柄でスイングが安定しない私でも
振れば当たり、当たればぶっ飛ぶ。
こんなに楽にまっすぐ飛ばせるんです。
目隠しをして打ってもご覧の通りスーパーショット。飛びの秘密は一段と大きく破壊力を増した 360cc ヘッド。ボール2個がすっぽり収まるこのでかさ。さらにヘッド素材は純チタンより約2倍も硬い超長ジュラルミン6061。チタンをしのぐ高反発力がさらなる飛距離アップを可能にする。長尺に負けない高弾性カーボンシャフトはヘッドスピードを高め、スライスフックも一網打尽。夢の300ヤードに向かってまっしぐら。ドライバーフェアウェイキープ360にゴルフボールが6個ついて衝撃価格 19,800 円。0120の666の666。日本直販へ今すぐ申し込もう。
Coming up, NASDAQ.com halftime report. Jim, Mike, Jerry will have all the scores and highlights, plus all the latest NFL news. That's coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. 2-minute warning. Winding down in the first half. San Diego 14, Kansas City 6. Chiefs football, a 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line in a 4-receiver spread formation for Warren Moon. Quick throw, almost intercepted by Harrison. And that would have been 6. Gonzalez, the intended receiver. Moon has been unable to work Gonzalez into this offense so far.
And Rodney Harrison read this ball. He knew he was going to Tony Gonzalez. They blitz off the edge. He's covering Gonzalez. He breaks on the ball. Should have had it for an interception, for a touchdown and a score. But for Tony Gonzalez, when they spread him out in 4 wides, he's one of the wide receivers as a tight end. They love to go to Tony Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, no catches today. Harrison, there were question marks as to whether or not he would play because of the injured hamstring, not only in the starting lineup, but he is making plays here. With 1:57 left first half, Moon, deep drop. Throws it over the middle, knocked up in the air, and incomplete. It was tipped by Tim Denton. Sylvester Morris was the target. And Moon, again, fortunate it wasn't picked off.
And for Warren Moon, he's having a difficult time throwing the ball vertically. Here's a shot of Sylvester Morris making his plant, coming across the field, but a nice job of Tim Denton of tipping that ball. But for Warren Moon, he can throw the outs, throw the slants, but throwing down the middle, that's where he's had problems this afternoon.
And now a 3rd and 10. Kansas City with a chance to put some more points on the board before we hit the break. On 3rd down. San Diego crowds the line. Movement. Trying to jump back was Dingle. And Moon in some trouble. He's sacked. Rodney Harrison. 2nd sack of the day for the safety.
For the Kansas City Chiefs, just too many blitzers for them to protect. But a great job of defensive coordinator Joe Pascal of setting up this blitz. Coming right here on the edge, you're going to watch him. He's going to go after Warren Moon, 37. It's a late blitz. He comes off the slot receiver, one-on-one with Warren Moon. Warren Moon needs to step up, throw the ball. He's trying to make too much happen by holding on to the football. But a tremendous job by Rodney Harrison of getting on him and staying with him. He doesn't go for the fake, wraps his arms around him, goes back after him, and slaps his legs down right at the end. He hits his foot.
And the issue now for the Chiefs, not only did they not put points on the board before halftime, they didn't use much of the clock. So San Diego will have some time here, 1:46 left. Well, the Chargers only have one timeout to work with. They blew a timeout on a coach's challenge earlier that did not work in their favor. Sauerbrunn standing at his own 12. Nate Jacquet waiting. Sauerbrunn gets it off. Low kick, takes a high hop. Perfect for Jacquet. And Jacquet runs into white jerseys as he crosses the 30-yard line, and a flag down. A late flag down. A 44-yard punt, 4-yard return. And Jacquet a little bit slow to get up.
Five-yard face mask. 83 of the kicking team. They'll add 5 yards to the end of the run. First down.
The snapper, Kendall Gammon, caught on the face mask. Coming up Tuesday on CBS, everybody thinks this admiral is guilty of war crimes. To prove his innocence, he has to go up against the Navy's top brass. Don't miss an all-new episode of JAG Tuesday on CBS. San Diego with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line, already leading 14-6. Leaf. Strong throw to the sideline, caught by Graham into Kansas City territory. Well-placed ball by Ryan Leaf.
And Ryan Leaf is showing the confidence in his team. 1 is offensive line, 2 is wide receivers to stand tall in the huddle and get rid of the ball. Now they're going with a hurry-up offense. This is the next step in the progression of a young quarterback, Ryan Leaf.
A 24-yard pass play down to the 37-yard line of the Chiefs. On 1st down, Leaf, protection isn't there. He's sacked. At the 45, a number of white jerseys came in to help out on Ryan Leaf. It's a loss of 8. And they'll give the sack to Eric Hicks.
And for Ryan Leaf, this is a 3-step drop. 1, 2, 3, throw the ball. If it's not there, throw it away. He's trying to look off. The offensive linemen know it's a 3-step drop. They're going to hit, butt, and release the defensive lineman because they think the ball's thrown. That's why the sack occurs.
That's the 3rd timeout, Kansas City.
Injured Chief. We're just trying to get a look at the number right now. With 59 seconds to play in the first half.
2nd and 18.
It's Dwayne Clemens. Clemens, who had a jarring hit earlier this season on Steve McNair, actually missed some games. And they actually gave Clemens credit for the sack as well. Clemens able to walk it off. For the most complete NFL coverage, including game-by-game analysis and potential playoff scenarios, click on NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. Kansas City charged a timeout because of that injury. And it'll be 2nd and long from the 45. Chargers still have the 1 timeout. 59 seconds to play, 2nd quarter. Here's Leaf. An onslaught again, and Leaf throws it away. Nobody in the vicinity. And Hicks, this time, able to charge in.
And that's a sack.
Ryan Leaf was down. And that's what the officials have decided. Another big loss for the Chargers.
And for Ryan Leaf, when you feel the blitz and you feel the rush coming, get rid of the ball immediately. Here he holds on to the football, and it costs him the sack.
It was 2nd and 18. It's now 3rd and 27. Leaf standing, flings it to Freddie Jones. A flag down as Jones able to get back some of the yardage and now driven to the 40-yard line. Eric Warfield along with Hasty to make that stop on Jones, but the penalty will be against San Diego. A 14-yard hookup that is nullified. Just as Leaf released the football, the flag came flying in. The Chargers are moving in the wrong direction.
Holding. 62 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Ben Coleman, the left tackle.
And for San Diego, they just can't prosper on good field position today. They've been able to drive the ball down when they've had to, but to take over the ball and put points on the board in crucial situations in the 2 minute, that's where you can develop this offense and move the football down. They seem to be going backwards on this drive. Here's a drive where they had an opportunity to possibly put points on the board. Now they're just hoping to hold on.
3rd and too long to even mention. 26 seconds to play. First half. Shotgun Leaf. Steps up, will throw it underneath the coverage to Fletcher. And he's brought down to the 42-yard line by Donnie Edwards, the San Diego native. Timeout called. Kansas City still had a timeout. In fact, they still have one more remaining with 12 seconds left. And Gunther Cunningham just wants to force San Diego to at least punt the football because stranger things have happened. A bad snap, a block punt. Make San Diego finish off the half. And don't forget, coming up, the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Jim, Mike, and Jerry, all the scores and highlights, plus all the latest NFL news that's coming up. The NASDAQ.com halftime report. Well, thoughts on this first half, Mark? Ryan Leaf has looked good at times. You know, Jeff Graham told us earlier this week that they believe that Leaf is the leader. They've tried to make him feel that way, but he still has to go out there and prove it.
And you have to. And even though you're trying to force a young player, particularly a quarterback, to be a leader, he has to earn his stripes. He has to earn the respect of not only the offense, but also the defense and every player on his team so they can look to him as a leader.
And Leaf has done some boneheaded things over the course of his career to alienate himself from his teammates. Kevin Lockett from the 22. Here's Lockett, and brought down as he crosses the 35-yard line. End of the first half. San Diego looking for its first win of the season. They lead Kansas City 14-6. We'll send in Jim Nantz to the studio, the NASDAQ.com halftime report, after this message and a word from your local station.
優しさを真ん中に。
アート引っ越しセンターです。
あら、この間引っ越してきたばかりなのに、奥さん、もう引っ越しちゃうの？
いいえ、アート引っ越しセンターでお部屋の模様替え無料なんです。
え、無料？お部屋の模様替え？
アート引っ越しセンターでは引っ越し後1年間家具の移動を無料で行います。詳しくはお電話で。
いいわね。アート引っ越しセンターへ。鮮度が自慢です。生のお天気ニュース。
生10 Weather News。
精度が自慢です。生のお天気中継。
生中 Weather News。
生天生中ウェザーニュースついに開局。
きたくなる不思議ハワイ
Aloha. Halftime at Qualcomm, San Diego leading Kansas City 14-6. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Mark May, and you wonder, is this just a tease for these Chargers fans who have tried to stay loyal to this team despite being 0-11. Chargers look pretty good offensively in the first half. Certainly Ryan Leaf trying to use last week as a stepping stone.
Oh, absolutely. Ryan Leaf 10 for 13, but what I'm impressed with his progression, the way he's protected the football, made correct decisions out there on the field to play. This doesn't look like the Ryan Leaf we've seen before. This looks like a mature quarterback.
Let's talk about Kansas City. Warren Moon gets the start for Elvis Gerback, who's having the best year of his professional career. Moon hadn't even started a game in 2 years. Last time it was with Seattle. Coming into the game, you figured Moon, if he got into a rhythm, would be able to take advantage of this San Diego defense that gave up so many passing yards to Gus Frerotte last week. Well, San Diego's caught on.
Yeah, but he did early. He was 6 for 6 on his first 6 pass attempts, 6 completions. But since then, 2 of 11. And I think it was easy for Warren Moon to come out and dink and dunk. But once he had to throw the ball vertically down the field, that's when he had his problems against the San Diego Charger defense.
What do you think should change about this Kansas City offense? Have they been blending in the run enough for you? They tried to do it later stages of the second quarter.
No, this is a team that should have started off running the ball to take the pressure off quarterback Warren Moon. And now they really can't set up their play action passes because San Diego's having none of it. When it's 2nd and long, 3rd and long, they're blitzing Warren Moon, putting pressure on.
And now if you're San Diego on the other side, you have to think of it this way. Don't play this game just trying not to lose. Keep doing what you're doing. Go out there, win the football game, because that's when mistakes happen, when you change your philosophy and your approach. Jenkins on the return after the kickoff from Sauerbrunn. Jenkins breaking 1 tackle and then gets hit at the 20-yard line. He stayed on his feet, but Kansas City special teams able to charge in with Brian Waters. The halftime numbers in a 14-6 game. Passing yards. That's where Ryan Leaf has been able to do his damage, and total yards. Kansas City offensively, just not much to speak of.
Well, it's a turnover. So 2 turnovers right there by San Diego. They led to only 6 points for Kansas City. Kansas City wasn't able to capitalize on them, and it was the defense of the San Diego Chargers that really stepped up to the plate.
And you say, look at time of possession, and Kansas City won that category, but who cares? San Diego was able to do something with the football when they had it. 2 long drives for touchdowns. Running play to start out here in the 3rd, and the Chiefs defense not fooled. Marvcus Patton combining with Browning to bring Fletcher down. A loss of 5 on 1st down.
And it's the first series coming out of the locker room that sets the tempo for the second half. Who's going to come out and dominate the line of scrimmage? And I think Kansas City, I can guarantee you one thing, Gunther Cunningham was in there screaming at his team at halftime, pleading with them to play up to their potential and stop the run, which they've done a decent job, but put pressure on quarterback Ryan Leaf.
You remember Dwayne Clemens was forced to leave the field with an injury earlier. Clemens is back on the field now, playing at his defensive end position. 2nd and 15 for the Chargers. Leaf looks, throws, and picked off. Intercepted by Patton. Patton across the 20. Patton looks for an opening. Patton to the end zone. Touchdown, Chiefs. Ryan Leaf is laid out back at the 4-yard line. A 24-yard return. Leaf at his bell rung.
Wow, he's out of it. Look at his eyes. He has no idea where he is at this moment. And the San Diego Chargers have problems at the quarterback position. Jim Harbaugh's the backup, but he's been banged up and battered the entire season. And for Ryan Leaf, he takes the center, takes the snap, looks to the left. He tries to wait it out. It's a short drop. He needs to get rid of the ball. Then he looks to a second read through progression. You like that, but you got to get rid of the football, and he gets hammered before he gets rid of the ball. Marvcus Patton made a heck of a play on the ball in return.
The concern right now is for the condition of Ryan Leaf, but you just think about this man's career in 3 short years. He can't enjoy success.
He can't. He really hasn't had a chance to compete in the NFL, and Dwayne Clemens lays the lick on him on the play. But, here's a play for Ryan Leaf that, you would expect him to get better. It was just great last week, had a career game. Comes into this game, he's playing great at the quarterback position, and you hate to have this happen. If you're the San Diego Chargers and their administration and their football, you're sitting here saying, hey, he just can't catch a break into this offense. And for Ryan Leaf, that's not a devastating hit. He gets hit in the chest, but he hits the back of his head on the turf.
By the way, it was a bad pass.
It was a bad pass. Yes, it was.
Leafs numbers, the interception comes back for a touchdown. Jim Harbaugh is the backup quarterback. Harbaugh has dealt with numerous injuries throughout the year.
He's just a tough guy. He's played with so many injuries, and you know it's one of those things where you want to see him go out the way he should go out because he's a heck of a quarterback. But every time he plays, he gives all he has.
Peterson the extra point. Marcus Patton on the return. Second interception of the season for Patton. And Kansas City is right back in it. Medical staff taking a look at Ryan Leaf on the sideline. San Diego now with a 14-13 lead after the pick and touchdown for Patton. Ronnie Jenkins from the 1. Jenkins going across the field, breaks one tackle, and then brought down as he gets to the 27-yard line. Mike Mislowski with a stop. And Marcus Patton, one of the leaders of this defensive unit.
Here's another look at the hit, and Ryan Leaf's going to come back into the ballgame, but watch his head how it hits the turf. Bangs right on the turf. Marcus Patton with the interception picks up his blockers, weaves it into the end zone for the touchdown. But Ryan Leaf's back into the game.
So that was during the timeout. Leaf getting checked out, looking at the eyes. And right now all eyes will be on him, taking the snap on a 1st and 10 from the 28. Some deception for Fletcher up the middle, and Woods gets him down low, a gain of 7. Ryan Leaf trying to change his image, trying to change the way he's perceived, not only in this town, but throughout the NFL.
Absolutely. He's not perceived as a tough guy. Hasn't played with a lot of injuries, and that's what you want to look at a quarterback as a lead. You have to earn your stripes in the NFL. It's not going to be given to you. You can't go out there with a couple of nicks and say, hey, I can't play today. You've got to play through the pain.
2nd and 3. Movement, flags down. It was Dan Williams that came firing through and getting a hand on Leaf. So the multiple flags will probably bring this one back. Was Williams coaxed off sides? He was not. It was all of his doing.
Offside, 92 defense elevated towards the quarterback. That's a 5-yard penalty resulting in first down.
You know, one thing also, Mark, in talking with Jeff Graham of the Chargers, describing Ryan Leaf, he said Leaf did something earlier this year in that week leading up to the Oakland game where he went to the media and said, my wrist isn't going to be ready to play in that game. This is Leaf going down again. And the Chargers players were not happy with that. How can you say you're out for the week on a Monday? Leaf throwing long, up high, and too high for Freddie Jones.
And that's what I mean. You have to earn your battle stripes as far as respect goes in the National Football League. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to earn it. And you can't come out. It's ridiculous for any player, unless you have a blown out knee or a broken arm, to say that you're not going to play on a Monday. Heck, Stephen Davis from the Redskins this week fractured his arm. They didn't know until game time today if he was going to be able to play. That's what the NFL's about.
And guys talk. Guys talk in this league.
We know more than the coaches.
Sure.
The coaches will come down the locker room, they'll hear something that's going on. The players, we've known it 2-3 days ago.
Clock stop, 12:52 to play. 3rd quarter. Here's Jeff Graham. On the sideline toss, Eric Warfield there after a short gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7.
For Eric Warfield to battle back, and you like to see a young player like that in his 3rd season come back after being benched. And we talked to Gunther Cunningham. What he told us is he's had the best week of practice, not just this week, the last couple of weeks, as any player on the team. He's been intercepting passes, knocking them down. He's been a werewolf out there. And sometimes it's a psychological battle, particularly with a young player. When you bench him, he realizes he's embarrassed. He better step up and do his job.
It can go one of 2 ways. You get benched, then maybe you said, hey, it's not worth it, I'm a 2nd teamer, or you work harder. And that's what Warfield did to get his job back at left cornerback. Play clock winding down. Leaf gets the snap. On 3rd down, Leaf steps up in the pocket, has the time, fires, and nobody home. Wow. The Leafs still might be seeing some stars. Let's hope so, because that one wasn't even close.
That ball was almost in Tijuana. But
Dan Williams.
Wow. The Chiefs just can't keep players injured on the defensive side of the ball. Dwayne Clemens has missed time this year. Dan Williams has missed time. Eric Hicks has missed time on their defensive front.
We'll step aside. The concern now is for Dan Williams on his back in a 1-point game in the 3rd.
はい、ということでちょっとこのところリーフが心配させたりウィリアムスが心配させたり、故障者
Dan Williams was helped off to the sideline during that timeout. And now San Diego will punt. Darren Bennett. Another high punt. Lockett letting it drop, and it rolls into the end zone just barely. Tim Denton had a chance to knock it back. It'll be a touchback.
For Darren Bennett, it's not just the distance, it's the height. As high as he punts this ball, he gives his coverage teams an opportunity to make the play. They don't make it here, but as strong as his leg is and as high as he punts it, he gives them the opportunity.
Well, you can forget about the standings and throw out the win-loss records when these two teams meet. It's all about pride and guts and glory, one of the greatest traditions in all of sports. The Army-Navy game next Saturday on the Home Depot College Football here on CBS. Donald Willis has stepped in to play center for Grunhard on a handoff. Kimball Anders breaking it to the outside, and he is spilled out as he comes up shy of the 30. A flag on the play. Against Kansas City.
The Chiefs offense can't generate big
Holding.
plays.
88 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And it's Tony Gonzalez who gets caught. Right now, let's get an NFL Today update to New York and Jim Nantz. What is wrong with Indianapolis? We've had a chance to see them in recent weeks in a loss to Chicago and a loss last week in Green Bay. The Colts just cannot seem to regain their confidence offensively. On a 1st and 20, the running play was brought back. Moon off play action, trying to set it up. Almost picked off. Richardson couldn't bring it in, and Fakir Brown would have had 6.
Fakir Brown's been all over the place the entire game, making plays and close to plays, but here's a ball that's thrown too high and behind Tony Richardson. Play on the ball, he can't come down with it. It's right in his hands. That's a play that you dream of. If you're a football player, you dream that, hey, there's the ball. I want to make a play on it, because you're a defensive player. You don't get opportunities to score touchdowns. That was his chance.
So San Diego could have answered right back with a defensive score of their own. Brown in his 2nd year. Handoff, trying to run it off tackle. Kimball Anders. And he is wrapped up by John Perella. A short gain.
And I'm watching the exchange between the center and quarterback. And first it was Tim Grunhard. Now it's Brian Walters to Warren Moon. And it just hasn't been crisp. We'll keep an eye on that for the rest of the game. That may be a problem throughout the game. If the quarterback doesn't feel comfortable, Warren Moon's hesitating when he gets the snap. Well, if he continues to hesitate, that's going to be a problem. He can get his foot stepped on. He can fumble the ball. It's an area where you want it smooth and crisp, and you can go through your progression.
3rd and 18. Doesn't help that Grunhard has been forced to the sideline with an apparent injury. And here's Moon. In the pocket, has the time. Thrown up high and incomplete. Derek Alexander was the target. So the Chiefs forced to punt it deep in their own territory.
Now, I believe the San Diego Chargers defense has Warren Moon and the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs confused. They're befuddled. One of the keys, Tony Gonzalez. Where is he? He's supposed to be a big part of this offense. We haven't seen him this afternoon. He's gotten called for a penalty. Hasn't caught any balls. Here's a situation where they need Tony Gonzalez in this offense if they expect to win this game.
No injury to Grunhard, we've been told, just resting on the sideline. And now Todd Sauerbrunn from his own end zone. Nate Jacquet standing at his own 40. Sauerbrunn gets it off. A short punt. And it floats out of bounds in Kansas City territory. They'll spot it just at midfield, a 37-yard punt. San Diego, tremendous field position when we return.
今このテレビを寝転んで見ているあなた、運動不足はあなたの体を知らない間に蝕んでいくんです。こんな症状あなたは思い当たりませんか？太り気味でダイエットしたい、あちこちのコリや痛みが取れない、イライラして夜眠れない、これらは全て現代病の一つ。そんな悩みは筋魚運動で全て解決。テレビを見ながら楽々シェイプアップできちゃう究極の秘密兵器、それがこの医療用具筋魚運動売れっ子。 1日たったの15分、コンパクトボディに足を乗せるだけで寝たまま楽々有酸素運動ができる売れっ子にかかれば、慢性的な運動不足は見事に解消。足の先から頭まで全身を無理なくリラックス。あなたのこりや痛みをほぐしてくれます。そう、子供からお年寄りまで誰でも簡単にできるから、いつも取り合い。これが金魚運動売れっ子の売れっ子たるゆえん。あなたもストレス知らずで効果的なシェイプアップ運動をさあ手に入れましょう。もう体に負担のかかるスポーツやキャッチコピーだけの器具に惑わされないでください。売れっ子だけが医療用具として厚生省に認められた安全で信頼性のある金魚運動用具なのです。今ご注文いただければ専用足首サポーターに取扱いマニュアル、そして1年間のメーカー保証までお付けして特別価格29,800円。29,800円。あなたのために用意した月々2,500円からの金利手数料なし売れっ子得々ローンもぜひご利用ください。売れっ子だけがあなたに健康でエネルギッシュな毎日をお約束。さあ今すぐお電話を。
お申し込みは今すぐフリーダイヤル 0120-539-639 番でどうぞ。代金はお届けの際現金でお支払いください。消費税送料は別途、船便地域は実費です。お届けまで2週間ほどかかります。ご了承ください。
Kurt Schottenheimer's defense will be tested here. A 1st and 10 for San Diego at the 50-yard line.
Many concerns on this defense, particularly when they're starting two of the younger players, Greg Wesley, the rookie, and Pat Dennis was a rookie at corner. He's a backup today. Now the injuries to the defensive line up front. And they've even activated Norris McCleary off the practice squad this week.
On 1st down, Leaf is tripped up, somehow got it to Fletcher and creates yardage. A 5-yard gain in what could have been a loss on the play. Marvcus Patton with the stop. And Leaf again going down to the turf, being stepped on.
And these are one of those plays, they look ugly from this point of view. But actually, he gets the ball to the back, and that's all that counts, because the offensive linemen and the blockers up front, they don't know it was a bad handoff. They don't know there was a problem with quarterback Ryan Leaf. They're just going out there and doing their job.
Also for this Kansas City defense, Gunther Cunningham telling us, we need to uphold the Chiefs' tradition on defense. It's been a great tradition, and now teams are coming in and exposing us defensively. That has to change. Leaf over the middle, Freddie Jones. And he's brought down as he crosses the 45. A fight for the football as Jones was juggling. Chiefs claim they have it. Football comes popping out. They'll have to make a decision long before the football came loose. Patton was in on the stop. And Kansas City has it.
That ball popped up in the air in the middle of that scrum, and it all depends who has possession of it last. And officials come in to find out who has the ball. They want to find out who has it last when they pull the bodies off. Here's Freddie Jones on the run. He's nailed right there. Chester McGlaughlin, that's great hustle coming from the backside. He just pulls the ball away from him, and now it's a scrum for the ball. Who's got it? Who's got it? They're fighting, they're rolling, they're finding out. Who has it?
I don't know.
It's like a fresh piece of meat down there. Who's got it? Who's going to get it? I'm hungry. But Kansas City comes up with the football.
Well, the officials decide that it is Chiefs football in the 4th San Diego turnover. Chargers have committed 2 or more turnovers now in 12 straight games. Now make it 13 with today's. Moon, long ball throw to the sideline. Good attempt, but incomplete. Derek Alexander with Fakir Brown. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And this is taking your shot, but this is forcing the football because Fakir Brown has tremendous ability to run stride for stride with Derek Alexander, but look at the position he has. He's got perfect position on that ball. That's outstanding. You don't play it any better than that. Inside positioning, he's got the body leaning against him. Derek Alexander, the only way he can make a play is to go over the top of the defense.
2nd and 10 from the 44. Anders in the backfield. Clock is stopped. 9:11 to play in the 3rd in a 1-point game. Gonzalez, the motion man, he's been quiet. Handoff. Anders. San Diego converges defensively with Gerald Dixon. And a loss of 2 on the play. Let's go to New York right now. Bring in Jim Nance with an NFL Today update. Now, it's amazing what Denver can do in the running game. With the injury to Terrell Davis, to bring players in and still gain 100 yards, rushing touchdowns. It's a tribute to Mike Shanahan's system. On a 3rd and 12, Moon. Rush is coming. Moon throws to the sideline. Leaping attempt for Lockett. And it's incomplete. Darrell Lewis, the coverage. And Lewis has been heavily involved defensively for San Diego today.
And the entire San Diego defensive secondary, Joe Pascal's come up with a plan to blitz Warren Moon, but have his defensive backs play one-on-one. This is a great job of one-on-one with Darrell Lewis out in the flat. But Warren Moon, he's just saying, I can't get it done. I can't complete a pass. His first 6 were completions. He just can't do anything now. 2 for 15 in his last 15 attempts, 2 completions.
And another punt for Sauerbrunn. Unable to take advantage of the turnover. Chiefs go 3 and out. This one a high punt from Sauerbrunn. Jacquet allows it to bounce and it rolls into the end zone. It'll go down as a 58-yard punt, but a net of 38. San Diego will have the football when we come back. Such a beautiful part of the country, Southern California. San Diego, Qualcomm Stadium, 14-13. The Chargers leading the Chiefs. San Diego looking for its first win. Chiefs trying to even its record at 500, 6-6, and they need a win to stop a 3-game losing streak. San Diego football with a 1-point lead. Leaf throwing it on first down. Intercepted again. James Hasty.
Now that's just a poorly thrown pass by Ryan Leaf. I have no idea what he's looking at, but it wasn't the wide receiver on the play. For James Hasty, his 45th interception of his career. It's amazing. He just comes up with turnovers. Gunther Cunningham told us we've got to create turnovers. Well, they've gotten a ton of them in this game. But here he is just dropping off into his own. He's got the area, sees the ball's thrown right to him. Ryan Leaf just doesn't look at his wide receiver. He's throwing to an area, not throwing to the receiver, and he should read the defense. He doesn't read the defense. He's got him locked in, never looks anywhere else.
Kansas City getting opportunity after opportunity. 5 turnovers from the Chargers. And Gunther Cunningham allowing himself a bit of a smile. Chargers came in worst in the NFL. They're adding to that number. Kimball Anders. And the running game is just not working for the Chiefs right now. It's a gain of 1. James Hasty recovered a fumble earlier. Also comes up with his 4th interception of the season.
He's in his 13th season, and he shows no signs of slowing down. That's what you like to see. He's their leader on defense spiritually, emotionally. They have young defensive backs. Takes the whole crew under his wing. He's the guy that makes those guys go out and work. Stay after practice. Watch the extra film. He is the true leader of that defense.
Tim Grunhard has returned at center for Kansas City. And now a 2nd and 9. Moon has the protection. Moon times it. And caught. Gonzalez and a flag down. Harrison came in. And it's ruled incomplete. Initially, it looked like Gonzalez was able to bring it in cleanly. And let's see what the penalty is.
Pass interference, 37 defense. First down.
Rodney Harrison was all over him from about his 5th step on the field going into his route, and it was a mugging. Watch the play. He's saying he's trying to play the ball, but Tony Gonzalez goes off in his route. Right about now, you're going to see Rodney Harrison right there. That's a penalty. He's trying to fight through the ball, but he's fighting through the receiver to get the ball. That's a good call by the officials.
Rodney Harrison, a Pro Bowler in 1998. Did not get the benefit of that call. 1st and goal. Anders running into a crowd. And that's a gain of 2. Anders got off to an excellent start running the football, but since then has been unable to generate positive yardage. Now 12 carries for 18 yards. He has gotten the brunt of the work coming out of the backfield.
Now, most running backs want to get into a rhythm. He's not able to get into a rhythm because he carries once, then maybe another carry, then he doesn't carry for 5 or 6 plays. He's not getting where he wants to get running the football. And if you look at him, I talked to Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator. He said it's just a miracle at his age, his 10th season, to come back off the Achilles injury he had last year, but he still hasn't gotten that spark, that burst in his legs. He's hitting the hole well, but he just didn't have that burst to take it the distance.
On 2nd and goal from the 8, Moon under pressure, and he has it intercepted by Sayal. Kansas City unable to capitalize. And Junior tossing it into the crowd.
And for Warren Moon, you doesn't see Junior Seau sliding on the play. He tries to get the ball to Tony Richardson and tries to loft it over him, and he's not able to. He's going to get pressured in the pocket. He's looking deep. He wants to throw it in the end zone, and here he's going to roll out of the pocket and dump the ball. Get rid of it. He doesn't see Junior Seau sitting right there. Makes an excellent play on the ball. Hand-eye coordination, going up for the interception. Keep an eye on those eyes. Takes down Alexander. Bam! Right there. Derek Alexander just knocks him away, goes to his area in the zone, and makes a phenomenal play on the ball.
Handoff. Fazan crosses the 10. And a thoughtful moment from Seau, rewarding a San Diego Charger fan in the front row. Everybody wanted a piece of that one.
Yeah, that's an expensive ball for Junior to be handing to the fans, but I'll tell you what, for a youngster to come to the game, have a Junior Seau toss you a ball, you just tell everybody about it.
What's amazing, though, is he wasn't even wearing a Seau jersey. He's wearing an old Lou Bush jersey, and he still got the football.
I think he did it on purpose. Oh, you're a Bush fan? Here, you take this.
He'll be wearing a Seau jersey next time he comes to Qualcomm. Under 6 minutes left now in the third on a 2nd and 8. Fazan, the big running back, spilled out. Donnie Edwards has 30 family and friends that have come to the game. Was forced to get tickets this week. All on his dime, by the way, and a loss of 2. And there's the Donnie Edwards fan club.
The fan club there. Happy that Donnie made a play, but that was a heck of a play. Kevin Gogan tried to pull around the edge, and Donnie Edwards just submarined him and made the play.
Donnie told us he flew 11 family members in for last week's Buffalo game. Said it worked out great, but it was hard being Julie McCoy, the cruise director for the weekend. On 3rd and 10. Here's Leaf. Pump fake. As a safety valve. Fazan. And spun down short of the first down by Patton. So the Kansas City defense has done just about everything asked of them here in the second half. Other than those 2 long drives from San Diego, the Chiefs defense has been a story.
They have. They've done an excellent job today. And early in the first half, San Diego's offense was able to move the ball. But since that point, it's like they bowled their back and they said, hey, this is where we're standing our ground. And since that time, they haven't given up anything. No big plays, no points.
Darren Bennett kicking to Kevin Lockett. So the Chargers come up with a turnover. Offense does nothing. Bennett. It's returnable. Lockett from the 40. With a head of steam, he crosses the 45 and forced out of bounds at the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 7 on the return after the 43-yard punt from Darren Bennett. And San Diego clinging to the 1-point lead here in the third quarter. Coming up Monday, it's a brand new episode of Family Law. These attorneys are after a war criminal that did this man torture and kill millions. See how far one law firm will go to prove his identity. An all-new Family Law Monday on CBS.
And now it's time for the Kansas City offense to do something today. Warren Moon has to generate something out of his offense. And I think they're trying to throw the ball vertically, but they have to get the ball to Tony Gonzalez. I don't care if it's a quick screen to the outside, a little dump off in the middle. He needs to touch the ball.
Play action. Here's Moon. Deep ball. Wide open. Derek Alexander is brought down at the 10. He beat Fakir Brown on the play. And there was almost enough separation to take it the distance.
This is just Derek Alexander using his speed one-on-one on the outside. A good fake pump by Warren Moon, but he's only going one direction. There's the play-action fake. Get the linebackers to step up now. Get rid of the ball. Excellent timing by Warren Moon and Derek Alexander. That ball's placed perfectly out in front. I mean, you can't get a better ball than that thrown or caught.
Alexander has already gone over 1,000 yards this season receiving, having his best year as a pro. The only touchdown Kansas City has put on the board was a return off an interception by Patton. On first down, Kimball Landers. Nowhere to go. Jamal Williams with a hit. And it's a loss on the play of 2 yards.
And penetration always kills a running play, but when you pull your lineman from the inside to the outside, you've got to clear the hump. And clearing the hump is getting around the tackle. And if you can't do that, it's going to be a bad running play, and that's exactly what happened. The guard, Jeff Blackshear, couldn't get around John Tate.
Call it 2nd and a long 12. Only have 1 field goal to show for 2 red zone appearances. This is their third. Draw play. And Anders again trying to take it up the middle. It's not working. Perella and Williams collaborate to make that stop. A gain of 2.
And Tony Gonzalez has 6 touchdown catches. All 6 are in the red zone. I don't understand why you don't. I would feed this man the football. He's the best tight end in the NFL as many times as possible until they stop it. They've taken him out of the equation for their offense. Now they're trying to rely on the other players offensively, and it's not working for the Chiefs at this point.
Tony Gonzalez, no catches today. Will this be Gonzalez time? On a 3rd and 11. Here come the Chargers. Running play, Richardson cutting it to the outside. Richardson turns it upfield. Did he get there? No. Richardson spiking the football, and a flag comes down.
Now that's just ridiculous. That is not a smart play. That is hurting your football team. That's a very selfish play from a classy player like Tony Richardson. I can't understand why a player would do something like that.
Richardson's helmet came off. He thought it was a touchdown. He figured he would celebrate. And Michael Dumas injured on the play. Tony Richardson let his emotions get the best of him. He figured that he crossed the goal line. He didn't.
But the key to this, what a gutsy call. I mean, a gutsy call by Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator, and well executed, except for the end of it. That ball is about 6 inches from the goal. The marker is about a yard from the goal.
You're saying the penalty should come off after it's ruled a first down. I think that's what Gunther Cunningham wants to find out.
I think that's what he wants to know. That is a first down to me.
They still have 2 timeouts remaining. Kansas City just used 1. This is a pivotal call, depending upon what the officials see. It's such a close game, and neither team has been able to get into a flow offensively. Kansas City is hoping for a first down.
これから正式にそのチャレンジコールを要請するのかどうなのかね。まあでも今もうすでにボールの方は15ヤード戻ってますから。
14 to 13, San Diego leading Kansas City. A 3rd and 15 from the 16-yard line. And a running play for Richardson. His helmet comes flying off again on back-to-back plays. Or was that his helmet? Or no, it was an offensive lineman. Excuse me. Jeff Blackshear's helmet took a tumble after the gain of 3. And now a 4th down for the Chiefs. No first down. The officials with the ruling that it was a taunting penalty. And they called it back. Replay the down. Peterson on for a field goal with a chance to take the lead. 31-yard attempt is good. Kansas City in front. Gunther Cunningham's team has been able to battle back. And now the Chiefs lead it 16-14 late in the 3rd. Kansas City 16, San Diego 14. 1:51 left in the 3rd quarter. Chiefs trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Chargers just looking for win number 1 on the season. Coming up next Saturday, CBS Sports rolls out the season premiere of NCAA basketball, 2 of the elite programs of all time. Keith Goggins and the Kentucky Wildcats take on Joseph Forte and the North Carolina Tar Heels down at the Dean Dome. All the action Saturday here on CBS.
Ryan, you're a big college football guy and fan. Who's the top team in the country at this point, even though it's so early in the season?
College football or college basketball? College basketball? Well, not Arizona. Got beat last night. We'll talk about that in a moment. Ronnie Jenkins on the return from the 7. Jenkins looking for an opening, and he's tripped up as he crosses the 30. We've been told that it was considered part of the play, that it was not going to be taken off after the first down, that it was considered part of the play, the taunting penalty, and the play is called back as normal. I had the same thought process as you, that it was after the play was over. It had nothing to do with the play itself.
Absolutely. The play's over, he's down, he spikes the ball, that's part of the play. News to me.
And now San Diego gets the football. 1st and 10 from the 33. Leaf has been struggling in the second half. Safety valve is Fazan, and he crosses the 40-yard line. And a good gainer on first down. Meslowski and Patton combined to make that stop. Well, can Ryan Leaf regain his confidence? playing some of the best football of his career in the first half of action.
Yes, he carried over for last game, a career game, but in the last couple of series, he hasn't been sharp. Hasn't thrown the ball where he wants to. He has to pick it up from here if San Diego expects to win this game.
A 2nd and 1 on the toss. Fazan turns it upfield. First down, San Diego, as he's twirled down into Kansas City territory at the 48-yard line. Kevin Gogan with a block.
Nice job of getting to the edge, sealing the edge of the offensive line and allowing the big man, Jermaine Fazan, to get to the corner. What happens is you have to have a great block by the tight end and the right tackle to seal the edge on the outside. Roman Fortman did a great job of coming through and sealing the middle linebacker, Marcus Patton, on the play.
Terrell Fletcher bruised ribs, and that's why Fazan continues to see action. They're in the late moments of the third quarter. Leaf in the pocket, good protection, steps up, throws, almost picked off. Mike Meslowski had a chance to put an end to this San Diego drive. Graham, the intended receiver.
And ever since Ryan Leaf got dumped and dinged around early in this game, the run has been there for the Chargers, but his passes have been way off.
22 seconds to play in the third. Kansas City with the lead on San Diego. Chargers led it 14-3. Turnovers here in the second half have cost San Diego in their quest to get their first win of the season. And now a 2nd and 10. Leaf, long ball, looking for it all. Graham, it's broken up. Jerome Woods with Eric Warfield. And it was Woods that got a piece of it.
And this is a heck of a play by Jerome Woods. Quarterback Ryan Leaf does not look off the safety. The safety is able to play this play late, which is Jerome Woods. Here he comes. He's going to knock the ball in late. The corner's expecting help. There's your late help right at the last minute. That's a killer play by Jerome Woods. It's timing the ball, coming at the last minute, because he had the cornerback beat on the play.
Warfield was so fortunate that he got that safety help from Woods. And San Diego, another third down conversion attempt on a 3rd and 10 from the 47. Gaylor is in as the third receiver. Motion man is Graham. Leaf, blitz coming. Able to get rid of it, but Conway could not bring it in. Pass was off to the side as Leaf felt the heat from Dwayne Clemens. And 4th down, San Diego.
And Dwayne Clemens is going to put pressure on Ryan Leaf, but watch Pat Dennis. It's a delay blitz. As soon as the linemen are engaged, you come late with the blitz late. Here he is. Both of them put a lick on quarterback Ryan Leaf.
Second time he's banged his head. Earlier it forced Leaf to the sideline. The medical staff took a look at him, told him he was okay to go out and play. And Leaf has not missed a snap here today. 4th down, Bennett. Wobbly punt. It'll be down at the 7. Scott Turner getting downfield to down it after the 40-yard punt. Good placement by Darren Bennett. And now Kansas City's offense will be forced to operate deep in its own zone.
39 yards on the punt.
Freddie Jones has had a great afternoon, particularly starting the game. 2 touchdowns receptions today.
See what some of your favorite players like Jerome Bettis, Javon Curse, Junior Seau, Cordell Stewart, and more had to say in their NFL.com diaries. It's all there for you at NFL.com. Ryan Leaf. He'll tease you. That first half, you think, yeah, he's living up possibly to being a franchise-type quarterback, looks confident, stands tall in the pocket, and then in the second half it falls apart for him. On the handoff, Donnell Bennett getting an opportunity, and Junior Seau is fired up. That's the final play of the third quarter. Kansas City 16, San Diego 14. Stadium. Chargers, it looks so promising early on with Ryan Leaf leading the way, but they have not been able to get something going offensively. And now, once again, they're asking their defense to come up with a big play on a 2nd and 11. Loose football. Or wrapped up. Warren Moon. And this play just never got going from the start. Donald Willis is in at center for Tim Grunhart. We've been told there's no injury.
And that's just a poor snap. And I talked about this earlier, that Warren Moon was not getting the snap. It hasn't been crisp. They've replaced their centers again. The ball's just not there. He's pulling away with the football. The ball isn't snapped far enough back to Warren Moon, but he makes a smart play getting on that ball.
Which team actually wants to win this game? Do you have an answer?
I don't think either one does. I think if you look at San Diego, obviously they want to win the game because they need to get one win at least before Christmas.
Handoff, Bennett. Able to turn it up off tackle, but he picks up just 2. Obviously, Gunther Cunningham figuring that Kimball Anders was not getting it done offensively, so Bennett has now been given an opportunity. Bennett had been in the doghouse for quite a period of time in this Kansas City offense. He had no role.
Now, if you look at the Kansas City running backs, there's been a few running backs that have been in the doghouse. Mike Cloud's been in and out of the doghouse. Now, Donald Bennett's been in and out of the doghouse. They just can't find one guy, and they like running back by committee, but they still need to find one guy at least to take the majority of the snaps.
Well, San Diego, barring disaster, should have very good field position with Nate Jacquet standing at his own 45. Sauerbrunn in the middle of his end zone. Gets rid of it. Jacquet allows it to bounce out of bounds. And the line of scrimmage will be the 41. Gunther Cunningham's defense may have to win this one for him to snap a 3-game losing streak. 13:20 mark of the 4th quarter. Kansas City and San Diego, a matchup from the AFC West. Chiefs blew out the Chargers earlier this season back in week 3, 42-10 with Elvis Grbac leading the way, 5 touchdowns. But it's been Warren Moon in at quarterback today for the Chiefs. Ryan Leaf for the Chargers. And a pitch on a 1st and 10 from the 41. Terrell Fletcher back in there with the injured ribs and all. And not much to work with. Hey, there's only one way to see all the action on the field. You need to be inside the Monster.com blimp. The Monster.com blimp is providing us with these live shots of the game today. This is one of Monster.com's 2 blimps. This blimp is named Skeeter, and it's based out here on the West Coast. And we thank the fine folks from Monster.com for being a part of the telecast here today. A 2nd and 11. Motion man is Graham. Leaf, a nightmare of a second half so far. Leaf in trouble, slings it out middle of the field to Fletcher. And a short gainer on 2nd down. He picks up 4. Chester McLaughlin able to wrap him up.
And for both of these teams to have success offensively, they're not able to move the ball in the second half. They have to get the ball in the hands of 88s. Tony Gonzalez for Kansas City, Freddie Jones for the San Diego Chargers. In the first half, that's where they had success offensively, the San Diego Chargers and quarterback Ryan Leaf, getting the ball to the tight end Freddie Jones.
Those long drives which culminated in touchdowns to Jones seems like eons ago. Back-to-back, San Diego was able to drive down the field 70-plus yards and then 80 yards for scores. Timeout called by Kansas City. They have 1 remaining. The Chiefs do have the lead here in the 4th.
16対14と2点差ですから、フィールドゴール1本でこう変わるわけで、まあこれからお互いにオフェンス対ディフェンス、
Back at Qualcomm in a tight one. Kansas City leading San Diego 16-14. Just not a lot of offense to speak of. Since San Diego's long 80-yard drive for a touchdown, their longest drive has been 20 yards. Joe Bugle, the offensive supervisor and offensive line coach. It's a nice title.
Hand out those titles. Keep you moving around the NFL. But for Joe Bugles, this has to be killing him. They haven't won a game, 0-11.
And Leaf is engulfed by Hasty. On the blind side, Leaf did not see him coming. And James Hasty has come up with a sack.
And this blitz is a long time in development. Ryan Leaf never sees it coming. He's coming from the backside. Never looks, never sees him. If a quarterback's smart, they come up to the line of scrimmage and they read the defense. Look from one side to the other. You play the piano keyboard all the way down. He doesn't do that. Never sees James Hasty on the blitz.
5th sack of the day for the Kansas City defense. Bennett on the punt. High punt for Lockett to field. A little bit fearless as he avoids a tackler, but then gets hit from behind right across the 15-yard line. Scott Turner. And the line of scrimmage will be, we'll call it the 16, maybe the 17. Kimball Anders able to squeeze through a hole and picks up 4. You know, just to go back to Leaf for a moment, here's one thing that would either concern you or maybe you say he's maturing, but he told us earlier this week, football is my job. It's not who I am. And I'm not sure which way to react off that?
Well, I'd react as an ex-player saying, no, that's who you are. That's how you got here. When you were a little kid, you wanted to play in the NFL. That's why you went to college. It identifies you of who you are today. Not for the entire life, your entire lifespan, but you are a football player.
On a 2nd and 6, inside handoff. Tony Richardson bulling his way forward to the 35. Michael Dumas could not bring him down initially, and that's where Richardson made up extra yardage. 15 yards right up the middle.
And this is why Tony Richardson has success. He likes to hit the ball between the tackles, straight ahead, make something happen. He picks his way through the defensive front, but then he keeps his leg moving after the fact. He doesn't go down. And for Mike Dumas, hits him high, drags down low and grabs him by the ankle because he cannot bring him down high.
The rushers so far, Anders has gotten most of the carries, but Richardson has done the damage. And here's Anders. Getting back to the line of scrimmage. Jamal Williams, first man there. Well, let's start talking about this Kansas City team. 3 straight losses. Talked about the fact that they're playing on the West Coast for the 4th time in 5 weeks, but a favorable schedule down the stretch of the season. If they can even their record at 6-6, well, who knows? Maybe the confidence level gets back to a point where Gunther Cunningham's team can go on a run.
And that's what he's looking for. And if you see, New England should be a win for them if they play their football. Carolina, Denver's going to be a fight for them, and then Atlanta, the final game of the season. But this is a team that just crushed the St. Louis Rams at home, and everybody said, whoa, look out for Kansas City. But ever since then, they've been a little soft.
Tight spiral to Kimball Anders from Warren Moon. And they pick up 7 yards on the pass. Rodney Harrison with the stop. One thing that has become apparent, and this is no knock on Warren Moon, who is going to the Hall of Fame. What he did in the NFL, what he did before that with the CFL, this guy's been a tremendous professional football player. But if Kansas City is going to be a serious threat to go to the postseason, Elvis Grbac is going to have to be the man in the role at quarterback.
And he really elevated his team offensively to the passing game. And it started off their first game against San Diego. He threw 5 touchdown passes in that game.
Moon keeps himself in tremendous shape. That's why he's on the field at the age of 44. Trying to direct Kansas City now. And sacked John Perella. 3rd straight game against the Chiefs that Perella has come up with a sack.
Now, you said Warren Moon 44. After today's game, he's going to feel like he's 94 tomorrow morning because he's been knocked around by the San Diego front. There's John Perella right there. It's just a simple move right in the middle of the field. And the left guard, Jeff Blacksher, you have to attack him. He's sitting back chicken fighting with his hands. John Perella just takes off and goes around him and gets to quarterback Warren Moon.
4th San Diego sack. That was a 3rd and 3. And they lost 8. 4th down. Sauerbrunn. Jacquet is waiting at the 20. Sauerbrunn gets off a good one. Jacquet forced to backpedal from the 17, and he spilled out. A loss of a yard on the return. Mike Cloud with a tackle on special teams. 48-yard punt. Both teams have had their chances. Now, for those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Kansas City and San Diego, Ian Eagle along with Mark May. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast and the Mountain Time Zone. 16-14, Chiefs leading it. Chargers football. Leaf unloads before he's hit, and Fred McCrary unable to gather it in. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 17. Wesley laying out the hit on Leaf.
In the second half, San Diego just can't do anything with the football. That's ugly. Punt, 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 interception, fumble, punt, interception. You hate to see that, particularly if you're on the offensive side of the ball and offensive coach. You're looking at, we can't get anything going. We can't get first downs. We can't move the football.
And the offense was solid in the first half. Leaf looked crisp. They were running the football with Fletcher. And here's Fletcher getting an opportunity, trying to accelerate, and unable to do so. No gain on the play. Chester McLaughlin there to stop him. Under 8 minutes left now in the 4th quarter. First half passing yards for Leaf, 121. Looked like he was on his way to matching what he did last week. Second half, 24 yards passing.
Wow, that's ugly. That's one, not executing offensively, and 2, the defense has done a better job for the Kansas City Chiefs of stepping up to the plate and playing their type of defense.
Now a 3rd and 10. Leaf. Deep drop, has the time, throws it. Should have been picked off, instead a reception. Curtis Conway. James Hasty had the opportunity. And Conway stuck with the play.
And this ball should have been picked off a couple times, but the concentration of Curtis Conway, staying with the football. Magnificent concentration. He's going to run right in the middle of the field. It's a deep slant. There he is. He gets behind the first wave of defense, but here the ball's tipped right into his hands. James Hasty's had a magnificent afternoon thus far. Interceptions, fumble recovery, sacks of the quarterback. That's one he'd love to have back.
A missed chance for this Kansas City defense keeps San Diego's drive alive. A 1st and 10 at the 44, trailing by 2. On the pitch, here's Fletcher looking to get around the end. He cannot. Greg Wesley sniffed it out from the beginning and a loss of 2.
And this is a wonderful job of Greg Wesley of fighting off the block and getting to the ball carrier. Terrell Fletcher tried to get to the outside to use the speed. He was stringing it out. He wasn't going full speed. It gave the defense an opportunity to catch up with a running back on the play. You want to hit the hole, find the crease and hit it. He just couldn't find a crease to hit.
San Diego with its first 3rd down conversion of the day on a play that very easily could have gone the other way. 2nd and 12. Leaf will throw it. It was tipped. Jeff Graham, the intended target. And Ryan Leaf's problems continue.
He just can't get anything going with this offense. They get one big play and they just can't come back and do anything. And that's a great job right there by Dwayne Clevens, fighting off the cut, getting his hands back up in the field. A lot of defensive ends, when they're being cut, they go down right away and then get back up. That's a good job of putting your hand on the back that's cutting you and using him as a lever board and getting back up in the air and knocking that ball.
Now a 3rd and 12. 6:09 left in the 4th. Here's Leaf. Deep drop, steps up in the pocket, looking to run, cannot. Dragged down low by Eric Hicks.
Now Eric Hicks got a lucky play on this one. He didn't get any penetration on the play, staying back as a spy. Keep an eye on number 98. He's not going to get any penetration, but when Ryan Leaf steps up in the pocket, they run a stunt, an ET stunt on the right side of the defense. Look how far he is by the line of scrimmage. He doesn't go anyplace on Kevin Gogan, but he makes the play, and that's what's most important.
4th down, it's Darren Bennett again. Hope you enjoy punting, folks. Darren Bennett has put on an exhibition as he usually does. Whoa.
That is incredible.
Lockett from the 5. Lockett trying to turn it upfield, and he's brought down at the 10. Well, I'm chatting with Mike Riley earlier this week. He did say that 4th quarters have been a problem for this team, and he is just the latest in the coaching carousel that has hit the San Diego Chargers. June Jones, Gilbride, Ross, Dan Henning, a man you're familiar with.
Put a year here with Dan Henning, and it didn't go very well. That's why.
So you're saying you contributed to that?
Unfortunately, yes. Heck of an offensive coordinator, but it just didn't work out.
Kansas City football. Donnell Bennett trying to get across the 10-yard line, and a gain of 1 on the play. Ruff and Perella combining. Just to finish off the Riley story, he did tell us there is that feeling of doubt come 4th quarter. Can we go out and win a football game? The difference here, they're playing from behind. In recent weeks, they've been the team ahead, and they've allowed other teams to come back and rally for wins.
And they just haven't had that killer instinct. And it's unfortunately for Mike Riley that you look at a coach, the players love him. He's done a good job. You look at the record, it's 0-11, and everybody's calling for the coach's head. But people have to look at the other points. Only 2 first-rounders were on this roster that were picked by this team, Junior Seau and Ryan Leaf.
On 2nd and 9, Bennett moving forward for a gain of 1. Jamal Williams making the stop. Tight games. Well, San Diego's accustomed to them. Denver, that 38-37 loss. That's a heartbreaker. The overtime loss to Buffalo, and then close losses in between.
And you have to find a way to get over the hurdle. All it takes is 1. And usually when you get that first victory, they come in bunches, but they just haven't been able to finish the opponent off. They've had a lot of injuries. It's not an excuse, but they just haven't had that killer instinct when it counts at crunch time in the game.
Richardson by himself in the backfield. A 4-receiver set. Alexander in motion. On the pitch. Richardson trying to turn the corner. Richardson bowling over tacklers and forced out of bounds short of the 1st down. Fought the necessary yardage, and now a 4th down. Sauerbrunn. Nate Jacquet is waiting. Not much of a rush, and Sauerbrunn gets rid of it. Here's Jacquet from the 30. Jacquet angling his way to the sideline. Nate Jacquet forced out of bounds as he crosses the 40-yard line.
You see the lick by Todd Sauerbaum, the punter, but first of all, Ryan, this play starts off bad. The punt, Todd Sauerbaum, low punt. You don't have a line drive punt because your coverage team can't get there fast enough. It's a perfect punt for a return. There's no white jerseys around him. Look at that. Nobody around him. Great blocking on the return. He gets to the edge. Once he gets to the edge, it's a foot race now. And at the end of it, at least the punter has the wherewithal to make a stick and make the tackle and knock him out of bounds.
A 35-yard return. San Diego unable to move the football offensively. But Nate Jacquet does it on special teams. And a 1st and 10 at the 36. 3:38 to play in the fourth. Handoff. Fletcher driven back. And a loss on the play. Dwayne Clemens, who has been heavily involved defensively so far today for Kansas City, makes that stop.
This is one of those plays where running back Terrell Fletcher is trying to do too much. He hits the hole. He sees there's some congestion in the hole. He tries to use the speed to cut back, but there's no cutback lane. And Dwayne Clemens just closes it off on Terrell Fletcher.
And you wonder, will this be San Diego's last chance offensively? Time now becoming a factor, trailing by 2. Leaf, little toss, incomplete. Curtis Conway, the intended receiver, and there's Hasty again. It'll throw the ball. Just wants to snap a 3-game losing streak and get back to the 500 mark. San Diego facing a 3rd and 13 from the 39-yard line. Graham in motion. Leaf in a passing situation. Pocket collapsing. Finds the open man, Curtis Conway. And Conway is brought down short of the 30. Not even close to a first down as they pick up 6.
This played right into Kurt Schottenheimer, the defensive coordinator's hand. Get a good rush. Dwayne Clemens on the outside. He beats Ben Coleman on the soft shoulder. Make the quarterback throw it early, but make him throw it soft. Make him throw it short. And William Barty on the outside does an outstanding job, or Eric Warfield does an outstanding job of staying with Curtis Conway on the play. Lets him catch it, but you make the tackle. Don't let him beat you out of the tackle. Make the tackle.
Now a 52-yard field goal attempt. John Carney. This is to take the lead. Bennett the holder. Carney leans into it. He's got it! San Diego goes in front. A 52-yard field goal for John Carney. 17-16 Chargers. 2:14 to play. Fourth quarter.
And that's what it's all about, and that's what caused this drive. But for San Diego, can they hang on? They've been in this position before.
Yep.
A lot of time left. Kansas City, 1 timeout, more than 2 minutes on the clock.
Well, San Diego has not handled success very well this season. They have found ways, inventive ways to blow games throughout the year. They have a 1-point lead. Carney on a kickoff. It'll be a short kickoff. It's taken by Cloud at the 11. Cloud stutter step and met at the 24. Deanna Humphrey on special teams. It's a 14-yard return. Gunther Cunningham is now putting his trust into a 44-year-old quarterback, Warren Moon. With 2:04 remaining in the fourth. Elvis Gerback unable to start, snapping a string of 28 consecutive starts because of an injured right index finger. Moon getting his first start in 2 years, his first in a Kansas City uniform, replacing Gerback. Got off to a strong start in this game. Has struggled. 6 of 6 his first 6 attempts, 4 of 18 since then. And now a 1st and 10 from the 25. Moon in the pocket. Moon taking his time, dumping it off to Richardson as he crosses the 30-yard line for a gain of 6. And we have hit the 2-minute warning. 1:58 left. Kansas City trying to get into field goal range, trailing by 1. Despite this team being 0-11, there is still pride, including Junior Seau. Last time the Chargers went 0-11, they did defeat the Chiefs to end the winless streak back in 1975. They're hoping that the same thing happens here today. A 2nd and 4 from the 31 for Kansas City. Crowding the line. San Diego comes on a rush. Quick slant. Nearly intercepted by Harrison. Gonzalez, the intended receiver, and the Pro Bowl tight end has been virtually invisible today.
what they're doing is they're blitzing off the edge. When they blitz off the edge, you're going to your hot read and you're tight end Tony Gonzalez. But Rodney Harrison's anticipating and coming up and covering Tony Gonzalez as soon as the ball is snapped. I think what Kansas City has to do is fake it to the inside and go to the outside with the football. Warren Moon's tried to work the ball inside the entire game long, and he hasn't had much success. He's had success to the outside.
On a 3rd and 4. Here come the Chargers again. Moon able to get rid of it and incomplete. Fakir Brown had it in his arms. And it's 4th down, Kansas City with 1:51 left to preserve a victory. It could happen. Crowd is vocal. Play clock winding down. They don't get the play off. Flags come down, and this play is whistled dead. Oh.
And a lot of this has to do with the rust of the quarterback, Warren Moon, his first start in 2 years.
The 11th Kansas City penalty, and as bad a time as you will find for one of these.
And for Warren Moon, nothing to take away from Warren Moon's greatness, but here's the situation. You haven't been in this situation. You've been the practice guy. You've been on the sidelines.
It turns into a 4th and 9. .151 left. This crowd is charged up. Riley can almost taste it. On a 4th and 9. Here's Moon stepping up, throwing to the sideline. Catch is made and a first down. Derek Alexander keeps this drive alive on the pinpoint pass from Moon.
And all Warren Moon wanted was a 10 or 11-yard out. He gets it from Derek Alexander. You push it to the inside where you've been throwing the ball, plant. Turn to the outside. The ball's a timing pattern. It's on time. That's where they've had success. I said it before. They've been picking the Chargers apart on the outside, but they continue to force it on the inside. But when they have to have it, they get the ball back to the outside of the field.
Now, first things first, they had to move the chains. Now they have to start thinking about getting into field goal range. San Diego with a 1-point lead, 1:46 left. Moon with a deep drop and a deep ball throwing to the sideline and out of bounds. Alexander was the target.
40. I get the 6-8 yards, move the ball down the field, get the defense to step up and play the short passes, but they want it all in big chunks.
Line of scrimmage, the 36. Kansas City slim playoff hopes resting on this drive. Moon, he is leveled as he unloads the football by Michael Dumas. Incomplete.
And Michael Dumas, the free safety, is on the far side of the line, right in front of Warren Moon. He reads him. He's his hot read. Get rid of the ball. He does, but takes a heck of a shot right in the chest from Michael Dumas.
Clock is stopped with 1:36 remaining. 3rd and 10 upcoming. 17-16. San Diego with a lead. On a 3rd and 10 from the 36. And the Chargers want a timeout. They will have one timeout remaining. On a 3rd and 10 from the 36. Moon, blitz coming, and he's down. Michael Dumas. A 1:32 left, and now the clock is moving. Kansas City facing a 4th and 20.
Now, Kansas City hasn't been able to pick up the blitz the entire afternoon long. San Diego's come with the blitz. They've had success with it. They haven't gone max pro the entire afternoon.
4th and 20. This is it. Moon steps up. Moon guns. Too high, and it's over. San Diego has snapped the losing streak. The Chargers will knock off the Chiefs. 11 straight losses to start the year, and that's where it will end.
For the players of the San Diego Chargers, they're going to enjoy this. A hard-fought victory. It's been a long time since they tasted victory. All the arrows that have been shot locally at this football team, they've come to play week in, week out, close football games. They don't give up on this play, but here's the huge blitz. No one picks up Michael Dumas on the safety blitz. And Warren Moon doesn't have a chance.
Well, you figured the law of averages. You watch this game long enough.
Law of averages.
You know that teams, they find ways to win somewhere. Even bad teams, and I don't think this San Diego team is as bad as their record may show.
Not at all. And if you look at the talent on this team, the junior Seals, the people that have a lot of pride on this football team, the John Perellas, Rodney Harrison played today on one leg virtually and played the entire game, one of his better games.
Under a minute left. Yeah, you look at the big picture and say, well, big deal. You're 1-11 now, but you worked so hard during the week. Mike Riley, he doesn't stop coaching just because the team isn't winning games, and this one is sweet for him.
But he'll sleep tonight. He hasn't slept in an awful long time. This will be one of those nights where he really enjoys it because he knows how hard he worked just to get one victory.
Leaf takes a knee. Ryan played well in the first half. Second half, a different story, but a return from Nate Jacquet helped set up a long field goal for John Carney. Kansas City has used its final timeout, and for Gunther Cunningham, we've certainly done enough Kansas City games this year and in years past to know that this will eat away at him. Now, whether or not this Kansas City team can recover and try to finish the season strong, maybe win out, that's irrelevant right now for the San Diego Chargers players, coaching staff, fans, front office. They just needed to win. They just needed to feel good about themselves for a change, and they will. Time trickling away. Warren Moon getting the start at the age of 44. But Kansas City falls short. Their losing streak now hits 4 games in a row. San Diego, the last team in the NFL to get a win. 17-16, the Chargers edge the Chiefs here at Qualcomm.
Pants, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Aaron Stecker from Western Illinois. Carl Williams from A&M Kingsville, Texas, are deep for Tampa Bay. Down to Carl Williams at the 10. 25, 35, 44-yard line. The Bills, who have had the worst in the league starting after opposing kickoffs, 34-yard line, come out well on this one to the 44. Ken Irvin made the tackle, and we have an injured Buccaneer. Stecker, the running back who backs up. Warwick Dunn is down. Sean King ready to come on the field. The young quarterback from Tulane who took over last year when Trent Dilfer broke his collarbone in the 11th game. There are his numbers this season. He grew up just 12 miles to the south in St. Petersburg, always a Tampa Bay fan. He said he loved it when the Buccaneers played on the road. He said because when he was a kid, they didn't televise home games. They never sold out. He'd run around in his Tampa Bay uniform, and now his little guy dreams have come true as a big league quarterback.
Well, times are different now, certainly here in Tampa, but right now the concern is for Aaron Stecker, who remains on the ground. Of course, Mike Alstott out for the rest of the regular season. He'll come into the screen from the left right there, number 22. Boy, and you see he took a pretty good shot, and again, they're having trouble getting him up onto his feet. There he is up.
Favoring that right leg.
So with Alstott not a part of the offense, and now Aaron Stecker down, Tampa Bay really short on running backs.
Here's the starting lineup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 6 wins, 5 losses. Pearson, then McDaniel and Christie, the Pro Bowlers who came here as free agents from Minnesota. Middleton and Wunsch up front. Warwick Dunn, he'll have the heavy load today. Riddell Anthony, Jaquez Green outside along with Keyshawn Johnson. He wants the rock. Get me the rock, he says, and Dave Moore is the tight end. Stecker attended to as Sean King puts it in play out of a shotgun from the 44. Throws in the flat, and the tackle made on tight end Dave Moore by Henry Jones for little gain. Defensively for the Buffalo Bills, here's how they start today with Sean Price for the injured Phil Hansen. Hansen may be back next week. Big Ted Washington, Marcellus Wiley up front. The linebackers, and they're good. Rogers, Coward, who leads the league in tackles. Holisek and Newman. Chris Watson, watch out there. He's replacing the injured Antoine Winfield. Winfield out for the season. Jones, Carpenter, and Irvin completing the secondary. Give us to Dunn, and Dunn weaving his way through tacklers all the way to the Buffalo 34-yard line.
Well, Warwick Dunn told us that I know I'm the featured guy now for the balance of the regular season. Right now, he ought to feature that offensive line. What a hole against a really stout defensive football team against the run. Warwick Dunn not even touched until he's 13 yards downfield. What a job of blocking up front by Tampa Bay.
Dunn with a 20-yard pickup, first down at the 35. Dunn again. Slips and slides and picks up 4 to the 31 before, you know it, Sam Coward makes the tackle. Wade Phillips, the head man in Buffalo, and interesting conversation with Bum Phillips' son yesterday, wasn't it, Dan?
Well, it really was. Wade Phillips has his team on a 4-game winning streak, and this guy gets more criticism than any winning coach in the league. And it's all because of Johnson and Flutie, and yet he makes the decisions that win for his football team. So much of that criticism unjustified.
King fires, and it's deflected incomplete as Chris Watson makes his first play. And Watson, who has not started an NFL game in his brief career out of Eastern Illinois, he's in there for Winfield, makes the play.
Well, he's in for Winfield, but their third corner is Donovan Greer, and he's not playing in this game because he's got an ankle sprain. He didn't play in their game last week. So Watson is actually their fourth corner. So Tampa Bay on the one side thin at running back, Buffalo on the other side very thin in the secondary.
Third down 6. King scrambling and tackled at the 26, a yard shy of a first down, and making the hit was Pat Williams along with Sam Coward. So on comes Martin Gramatica, who has kicked 13 consecutive field goals. And he has a long leg. He has 5 kicks of 50 yards or more. And you can see the longest this year in the league, 55.
It's 5 out of 7, Dick, from 50 plus. How's that for consistency?
From the 35, the spot. So 45-yard field goal for this young man who grew up in Argentina. Well, not only long, but straight. The Bucks strike first. It's 3-0 with less than 3 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Three nothing as Warwick Dunn's 20-yard run sets up this man Martin Gramatica's 45-yard field goal. His brother, Gramatica's brother Bill, a senior, plays his college ball here at University of South Florida, kicked a 63-yard field goal last week, and he figures to be playing on Sunday next year.
So one brother's named Martin, and the other one's Bill. Okay.
This one is Chris Watson.
Sure it's not Bill?
And the kick into the end zone to Watson, and he's going to take it out. And is toppled at the 21-yard line. Rabi Abdullah making the tackle. And here comes Rob Johnson, out for 4 weeks with a separated shoulder, returned last week. And he has been a very tough quarterback for Buffalo in terms of taking punishment, injured all year. He made that dive into the end zone to beat the Chiefs. No easy win on the road at Arrowhead. And as Wade Phillips said, what if we could win on the road? Tampa Bay and Kansas City, that would be a real quinella. Fighting the noise, Sean Bryson starts at running back. Quick drop, eludes the pressure, throws incomplete. Eric Moulds, and a flag goes down on the sidelines near where Moulds was positioned but had his back to the play. Ed Hockley is our referee today, one of the best.
And a good look right there that all the shiftiness at the quarterback position for the Buffalo Bills does not belong to Doug Flutie. Ooh, an offensive interference against the Bills, but you saw that Rob Johnson has some quicks. He's got good feet, And he evaded what looked like a sack to get out of the pocket and try to make something happen.
And by the way, well, first, Hockley.
Before the pass was thrown, pass interference, offense, number 80, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, here's Wade Phillips starting lineup, trying to prevent that sack. Fina on an injured knee, Brown, Ostrowski, Nails, and Spriggs. Sean Bryson from Tennessee, Curtis Price, and Eric Moulds leads the league in catches, 76. Jeremy McDaniel starts. 3 wide receivers. The tight end is Jay Remersma. Bryson. And on first and long, he manages only a couple. Jamie Duncan, the middle linebacker, leading the charge for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here are the Buccaneers with their 43 sacks, second in the league behind New Orleans 49. Ahanotu, McFarland, Warren Sapp. How good is he? Marcus Jones, you know who he is? We'll tell you. Sheldon Quarles, Jamie Duncan, and Derek Brooks 3 times to Honolulu. Abraham and Barber on the corners, and Robinson and John Lynch, dislocated left shoulder at Chicago last week and surprisingly starts today. One of the toughest hitters in the deep secondary in the league. Big hole, and it's Bryson charging through across the 20 to the 23 or 4 before Lynch can make the stop. That'll bring up third down and about 8.
Well, that time Sean Bryson running the football cuts to his left, which fortunately for John Lynch is to his right shoulder. Watch that cut right there. It allows Lynch to come in and make the hit with his right shoulder. John Lynch, and we're going to watch it very closely. I'm not sure how effectively he could do anything with his left arm. Get it up in the air, make tackles with it, grab ball carriers. We got to watch it closely.
3rd and 7. Johnson, there's the sack, and that one ties the Tampa Bay franchise record, and Warren Sapp and Marcus Jones fight over the sack.
Well, it looked like Warren Sapp was the first one there, and he just puts a whiff on Jamie Nails over at right guard. Warren Sapp, the first one there. It'll be interesting. Does he get the whole sack or half a sack? He's chasing the club record of 13, which is owned by Hall of Famer Leroy Selman.
And Marcus Jones has 11, only 1/2 sack less than Sapp. Kicked by Chris Moore, and it's a beautiful spiral. Carl Williams at the 33, 45, 50, and to the Buffalo 47-yard line, and good field position again for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just a bit over 5 minutes played in this opening quarter here in Florida, and the score: the Bucs 3, the Bills 0.
At the 47.
Football Palace of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host Super Bowl 35 in January here on CBS. King and the Bucs start in Buffalo territory, and Warwick Dunn stops and starts and picks up 1 before Keith Newman could make the tackle. And for Newman, that's special. He grew up here in Tampa, went to Jefferson High School, was a tight end, then matriculated at North Carolina.
Well, ground yardage is tough to come by against both of these defensive football teams. The Buffalo Bills ranked 3rd in the league against the run. They only give up 80 yards a game, so anything Warwick Dunn and the Bucs get here today, they're going to have to work hard for it.
Dunn again on 2nd and 9, and he's met with a heavy hit led by Sam Coward and John Holosack. 3-0 Bucs here. Let's go to New York. Jim Nance.
Tackled by number 56, Sam Coward. Third down 7 at the 44.
All right, thank you, Jim. The Browns 3-9 at the start. Of course, Baltimore 8-4.
I would not have bet that that would happen. That Cleveland would go right down the field against the Ravens.
3rd down and long. Shotgun Sean King. 3 wide receivers. Deep down the field. Riddell Anthony off his fingertips, covered by Ken Irvin.
And that was a beautiful throw by Sean King, because the coverage by Irvin on Anthony was very good. And King had to throw it long, where his player has to make an excellent catch. But Irvin is right there. Look how good the coverage, and a perfectly thrown ball right through the hands of Riddell Anthony.
Mark Royals, the 12-year veteran from Appalachian State, in his second tour here in Tampa Bay, will punt it to Chris Watson, standing at the Buffalo 10. Wobbly kick, Watson fair catch at the 16-yard line. And that's where Rob Johnson and the Bills will begin with 8:27 remaining opening quarter here in Tampa Bay. Welcome back with Tampa Bay leading 3-0. A reminder, see what some of your favorite players like Jerome Bettis, Javon Curse, Junior Seau, Cordell Stewart, others have to say in their NFL.com dive.